Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagan Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण एवरीवन।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I hope after exam you're all relaxed this week. Last week everyone was pretty tensed. This week we had many other programs as well, so I saw devotees' face were very different than last week when I saw on Sunday, which is good. And anyway, Purushottam Mass is going on, so extra devotional service is not a problem. So before we start the 13th chapter, just wanted to say thank you everyone for attending the exam. I have checked actually most of the copies. So there's some little more work to do, which I'm planning to do this week. So hopefully before the end of coming week, you'll have your results with you. So let's target that. And if it doesn't, it will come definitely the week after it, but we'll try for this week. And everyone has done very well. And I can see the faces who have topped the exam as well. So it will announce next week probably. But most of you have achieved very good marks. So thank you for all the hard work. I know some devotees last Saturday, although it was Ekadashi, they chanted 64 rounds. And I can say Vijay Gopi Mataji was the first one to finish 64 rounds, plus the exam preparation and yeah, all that. So thank you, Mataji, for doing that devotional service for Gopinath and yeah, inspiring others as well. And others as well have done very, very nice in their exam. So we'll talk about it next week. Now we have started from 13th chapter probably 2 weeks before. So let's continue the discussion and just do a quick revision before we go ahead. Now 13th chapter, anyone knows the name of 13th chapter? You can read it from your Veda base or something. What Prabhupada has called it and what's the Sanskrit name? Anyone?
Kshetra Vibhaga Jog.
Okay, that's actually one name. Thank you, Vinay Prabhu.
Prakriti, Purusha, and Vivek.
Thank you. Prakriti, Purusha, and Vivek. And Prabhupada called it?
Nature, the enjoyer, and the consciousness.
Thank you, Rupam Prabhu. Yeah, you're reading it, but that's all right. That's okay, no problem. So, as Vinay Prabhu said, that's also a name. Prakriti, Purusha, Vibhag Yoga, that's also a name. So, both names are valid in Sanskrit, but Prabhupada chose this Prakriti Purusha name, and he literally translated that into English. Now, this chapter is the part of which section of Bhagavad Gita? So, Bhagavad Gita has 3 sections: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. So technically speaking, this is a part of Jnana Yoga. And it's good to remember that because we'll see how Krishna, although starting Jnana Yoga section, but within Jnana Yoga, he is openly using word Bhakti Yoga. And we'll see throughout the verses how Krishna is very boldly using that. And our Acharyas explained this 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. They are Jnana Yoga, but the Jnana Yoga which leads to Bhakti Yoga. and we'll see the culmination of Jnana Yoga, leading in 18th chapter, where Krishna openly again talks about Bhakti Yoga section very clearly towards the end of Bhagavad Gita. So this is not just the Jnana Yoga. Obviously, there are sections of Jnana Yoga, but Bhakti is mixed here, and eventually this will all lead to the Bhakti Yoga. So as we can see on the screen, our acharyas or teachers have divided this chapter into 5 parts. There are total 35 verses. The first section, now before I get into the first section, anyone remembers? Okay, I can show you on the screen just to start with, because it's been probably 2 to 3 weeks before we did. So the first verse was Arjuna's question. So Arjun has asked 6 questions here, and Krishna throughout the chapter is responding those questions of Arjuna. The 6 questions were, you can read in Sanskrit very easy, Prakriti Purusha, which is the name of the chapter. So Prakriti is the nature, Purush is the enjoyer. Kshetra and Kshetragya, we'll talk about it in a minute. So 2 and plus 2, 4, and Jnanam and Gyayam. So these are the 6 questions Arjuna is asking to Krishna. What are these things? And Krishna from verse 2 onwards will expand upon it. So first section, it says Kshetra and Kshetragya. So what's the definition of Kshetra and what's the definition of Kshetragya? How many types of Kshetragyas are there? Second section was for Jnana. So 8 to 12 verse, which is the big verse which we started in our last class, which all talks about Jnana. The next section, 13 to 19, which we will start today, is Gyaya, and we'll talk about it, what this Gyaya is. And then Prakriti and Purusha and their union is spoken in sort of a last section here, 20 to 26. And the very last section is called Jnana Chakshu. Acharyas have called this section as a bonus section, which Arjun did not ask, but Krishna has given this bonus section. What is this Jnana Chakshu? We'll read for last 8 or 9 verses. So right now we are in the Jnana section, which is the second question of Arjun. So Kshetra, Kshetragya, this is the first section. Gyan and Gyaya is the second section. Third is the Prakriti and Purusha. So let's start from the Jnana, which is 8 to 12. Actually, we have to just do a quick revision first before we get inside. So second verse, Krishna starts responding to Kshetra and Kshetragya question. So idam shariram konteya kshetram iti abhidhiyate. I'm not going to too many details here, but idam shariram konteya. So one definition Krishna is giving, this sharir is a kshetra. And within sharir, kshetragya, one who knows this sharir, he is a kshetragya. So Krishna is very clearly differentiating between body and the knower of the body, very clearly. Anyone remembers another verse in Bhagavad Gita which does this split? Probably in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Everyone knows. Huh?
Dehinasmin
Thank
yatha
you.
kamara. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. 230. So Krishna says, so you are not the body, you are the soul. So here again, so you can remember as another reference in Bhagavad Gita, very clear reference, 13.2. So Krishna says, idam shariram konte. Sharir is Kshetra, and the one who knows that Kshetra is Kshetragya. I'll read Prabhupada translation here. This body is called the field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. Now, this is talking about which knower? A local knower, which is our Atma. And Krishna in the very next verse says there's another knower as well. And who's that knower? Paramatma. So if you read this verse again, very clearly Krishna is putting Paramatma. Kshetragya cha api mam vidhi. So who refers with the mam word here? Me. Krishna is speaking here, mam. Now if you take Arjun's body there and Arjun's soul, and Krishna is saying, mam, I also know about your body and all the other bodies. So now we cannot claim that for our Atma. Our Atma doesn't even know fully about our own body. We have to go to Manmohan Prabhu and say, Manmohan Prabhuji, कुछ चल रहा है, कुछ बताइए क्या हो रहा है. So we have to take help of doctors and specialists to come to know about what's going on in our own body. So when we say we know about our body, we only know a little bit about our body. And even a specialist sometimes, even after looking so many scans, they said, पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है. We don't know what's happening inside your body. We need to do further investigation, further tests, blah, blah, blah. So it's very hard to know just one body, what to speak of one body, even a part of one body. I heard in a class, which was a bit surprising for me. At least I didn't know. There are some heart specialists, prenatal heart specialists. So there are some babies who are in the womb of the mother, they have a heart problem, and they are prenatal heart specialists. So they are a specialist who does operation on those babies who have not yet taken birth. That's amazing, huh? That's amazing. So how they open the mother's body and then the baby's body, and then they go to the heart of the baby. That's amazing. I was thinking, how would you write sort of we write in the hospital admission form your date of birth. The date of birth is not has taken place yet, but the body is inside having problem with his or her heart. It's amazing how complex it is. And we don't even realize this unless there's a problem in it. And all the babies come out, you say, wow, 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 there is no God, there is no God. And the baby inside is just taken full care of by God's arrangement, and we deny the existence of God. So Krishna says, Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. So, me, I know about all the kshetras of all the bodies. This claim, Mayavadis get these verses very, very hard to explain. How do they explain these verses when they say, Brahman is one, you and me are one, you and me, God is all one. There is no one here. Huh? Sarva Kshetra. How would you don't know what's happening in others' body. You can't claim that. Krishna says, I am knower of all the bodies. Huh? So Krishna very clearly explains that I'm different than the local kshetraka. So there is a Atma, there is Paramatma, and there is a body. Move on. Okay, now this 6 and 7 are also good. So this explains about how this body and this whole Sankhya philosophy works. Anyone remember how many elements Krishna is talking in this 13, 6 to 7? How many elements are there in the Sankhya philosophy, just in general?
24.
24. Anyone can say what those 24 elements are? You can look at the verse. Just tell me.
5 karmendriyas.
Thank you, Prabhuji. 5 karmendriya. Then
5
5
Gyan.
gyanendriyas.
5 gyanendriya. Thank you. 5 plus 5 is 10. And
Mahabhutas.
Panch Mahabhuta. So you can say 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. Thank you.
Mind and false ego.
Okay, we'll come to it. We'll just park that there. So there are 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. If you remember,
Tanmatras.
5 tanmatras, the object of the senses. So if you remember these 5, 5, 5, that's 20 plus, Ujjwala Mataji said, mind, right? You said mind, Mataji?
Yeah.
Yeah, so mind, yep, okay. More
Intelligence and false ego.
mind, intelligence, and false ego. 3 elements. And what's the 24th element?
3 modes of nature.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So these defines 24. Some Sankhya says there are 25 elements. Which is the 25th element? Not described here. I'm just asking.
Soul.
Soul. Atma is the 25th. Some says 26 elements are there.
Super
Super soul.
soul.
Everyone knows everything here. Thank you. So generally speaking, it's 24. And our Acharyas also says, but without Atma and Paramatma is incomplete. Or you can say in other sense 24 is complete because it's talking about the nature. It's nothing to do with the spirit. So in that sense, yes, it's fine. 24 elements is fine. So here Krishna is describing these 24 elements, which we all just said. So let's move forward. Now, this is a very important verse. I'm not sure about the exam perspective, to be honest, but from a personal level, as a devotee, as a sadhaka, this verse is very, very nice. So we'll just quickly do a recap of this verse nicely. So this verse explains 20 qualities. I should not say this verse, this series of verses. And I've heard there are 5 verses put together in Bhagavad Gita, the first and last time by Prabhupada. Why? Because the grouping makes sense. There's no other place where Prabhupada has put 5 verses together. But here in this situation, Prabhupada has put and given a very long, pretty intact explanation of this terminology, because these are the qualities which Krishna likes to see in his devotee. So what are these qualities? What are these 20 qualities? Let's start. Amanitvam, we have already discussed, so let's do a just quick recap. So who can say amanitvam? What does amanitvam mean?
Humility, bro.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Humility, bro.
Humility. Okay, if you just break the word amanitvam, how do you break it? Aman. Aman.
Yeah.
So what's it? I expect man from everyone, right? Right?
Yeah.
This is what happens, our heart. In Hindi बोलते हैं ये दिल मांगे more, ये दिल मांगे more. I want more, what more? Respect more, because my ego, the balloon of my ego wants to be bigger and bigger. I am so great. But our Acharya says it should be a man. So we should give man to everyone, should not expect man from anyone. Anyone, If no one gives us man, we are absolutely fine. Devotee at least is like that. So a man. Thank you, Prasannatma Prabhu. Adambhitvam. Adambha. What does adambha mean? So dambha means first dambha.
Dhamma means to pretend something that you don't have, but
Thank you, Prabhuji. So I can show off that I'm a millionaire or billionaire or blah, blah, blah. But I may be borrowing my clothes as well from someone else. This is called dambha. What's the difference between ahankar and dambha?
ahankar is something that you have for what you possess, but dhamma is something you don't even possess.
Thank you. So ahankar means if I'm a billionaire, I can show up. But see, I am a billionaire. Oh, we can say, okay, you have ahankar. But dhamma means you don't even have it. So many times you see people have dambha. Dambha means they don't even possess those qualities or those things, but they want to show. Why they want to show that they have those things? Why? Why
To
do
look bigger and better in people's
look
eyes.
bigger and better? Because at the end of the day, we want man. We want man. So that's why Krishna very expertly has put the very first quality as amanita, not adambhitvam as first. So you see, even the ordering of these has a meaning. So amanitvam, a devotee does not expect man. But if someone gives you man, what do you do? Ore, aparad, Vaishnava aparad. Someone gives you man, what do you do? People give man, and out of they may genuinely feel. Disciples give man to spiritual master. We give man to Srila Prabhupada. We give man to every single living entity, actually, even to an ant. We not unnecessarily trouble any living entity. So what happens when someone gives you man? You said Bhagavad Gita nahi padha? You haven't read Bhagavad Gita? Amanitvam. What do? You do get man, and it may be a genuine from the other side. What do?
Give it to the spiritual master and the spiritual gurus.
From the words? No, from the heart. Words are one thing, we can say many times, nahi, maine kuch nahi kiya hai. But inside we feel, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for acknowledging what I have done. No, the point here is, Guru Maharaj said in a class, from your Vani, from your words, you can say, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. And we can say, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Prabhupada. Radhanath Maharaj was telling in one class, when we say all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to spiritual master, what does it mean? He said, all glories to Prabhupada. Means no glories for me. But we say all glories for Prabhupada, but some glories for me. Some, just some. I know Prabhupada is great, but I am also something. No, Maharaj said, no glories for me. And that you should feel. And the more you feel about it, the better devotee you are. That way we can see, okay, some advancement is there. You are really feeling, I'm really an instrument. Someone said, you've done a fantastic seva. Yes, you can accept it. Yes, thank you. But it is due to the mercy of my Guru Maharaj I was able to do it. It's not my personal qualification. I did it. I'm not denying it. But how did I do it? Because of the mercy. Mercy is sitting behind me. My father is sitting behind me. Prabhupada. All these nice devotees around me, they have trained me very well. And because of their mercy, because of their blessings, I was able to perform. So thank you. So we should not say, nahi, chalega. But under say, from inside, we should really think, yes, I have done it because the facility was given to me, provided to me, the blessing was provided to me. And because of that, yes, so you can accept it and pass it. Majority mentally, not just wordly. So word is also good, but mentally, no, everything. Because, and how do you know that everything belongs to Krishna or the Vaishnava's mercy? Because it can be switched off in a second. You are able to speak right now, right? In a second, this capacity of speech can be taken away in 1 second. I'm able to lift my hand now. Another next second, the ability may be lost. I don't want to lose it, but it may be lost. So what does it mean? I don't own this capacity. Very clear, very, very clear. If I get a paralysis, my capacity of speech, I may know, few verses, my memory is lost. My body is exactly same. What you call amnesia? Huh? When you get amnesia, body is exactly same, but your memory is lost. So if I owned it, I didn't want to lose it, then how did I lose it? I never owned it. I never owned it. So amanitam is very, very nice quality. And you can take the thank you or glories, whatever comes, and mentally, definitely, you pass it to your Guru Maharaj. And one devotee also says, you fake it till you make it. Fake it. Fake it means give glories to others, give glories to devotees and your spiritual master. One day you will make it. You will start feeling, actually, you know what? I am not the doer. Huh? I'm not the doer. Yes, Sakiradhika Mataji.
Prabhuji, from sometimes we hear some lectures when they talk about the needs, and then there is this need of appreciation which is for everyone.
Yeah.
So how to shift from this need, and then even if it amani na manadina, if there is some for example, if I cook something and if some Prabhu or Mataji says it's nice, I feel happy about it.
Yep.
But if somebody says nothing, then
Yes.
also I'm like, okay, maybe I have to do better. But if but that thing comes, acha nahi bana kya, like we ask sometimes as a female, I can tell. So somewhere I feel that where is that gap where there is a need of appreciation, at the same time the humility is maintained,
Yes.
but there is also I don't know how to
No, you're right.
the gap is there, Prabhu. How
Definitely.
should we
Definitely.
understand?
And that's why we are called WIP. Anyone knows the definition of WIP? Work in progress. If we were there, then we will not be here. There means if we were perfected beings, we had, no expectation, this and that, then we will not be here. So definitely gap is there. And as a human being, we have our needs, and that's why Prabhupada said, you chant 16 rounds. You follow 4 legs and do devotional service. And there is definitely a need, and we all actually have to, this is why we have to encourage each other. Again, in a genuine way, not in a buttering way. In a genuine way, if someone does a very nice seva, he or she has worked hard, you can appreciate genuinely. No, thank you for doing that seva, because many people don't do that. Huh? But the other person should not feel, I was the doer. And to start with, I'll give you one example which Prabhupada gave, very nice. One time Prabhupada went to a temple and there was a mridanga player, and he himself, Prabhupada disciple, explains this. So he said, I was playing mridanga when Prabhupada was coming, there was a big reception, and I was the best mridanga player in the temple that time. That's what he says, right? So I was playing, and my Guru Maharaj is coming. Prabhupada, is like more than Krishna. That was the feeling in devotees. So Prabhupada came, and Jordar big kirtan happened, and then there's a sit-down kirtan in the temple room, and everything happened nice and all good. This devotee, this Prabhupada disciple, went in Prabhupada's room, and he asked this question to Prabhupada, which is very, very inspiring for all of us. And he said, Prabhupada, I have a question for you. Prabhupada said, yes, what's your question? And he said, Prabhupada, you remember I was playing mridanga? And he said, yes, I noticed you were playing very nicely. Prabhupada said like that. So he said, Prabhupada, you know what, to be very honest, I was playing and I was playing all right, and you also saying I was playing okay. Sometimes I feel arrogance in my heart that I play very good. And you know what Prabhupada said? What's wrong in that? Prabhupada said to this guy, what's wrong in that? But just see the explanation. This is the starting point. The explanation is you put all your passions, it's called passion, right? You're playing mridanga, it's a skill. If you're not using for Krishna as a material skill, you're very good in cooking, or you're very good in playing instruments and all that. But if you're putting your passion to start with in Krishna's service and you feel arrogant about it, that's all right to start with. Huh? But slowly, when you serve Krishna more and more, you serve devotees more and more, automatically it happens. Your heart is actually satisfied. You don't need others' appreciation. You don't need. But to start with, it's important. When new devotees come in the temple, we encourage them. Thank you, Prabhuji, for doing very nice seva. Come back again next Sunday. Come back again next Sunday. So why do we do that? Not that we are short of staff or something. Yes, we may need sometimes, but it's not like that. You have done some service, and I'm trying to encourage you to come back to serve Krishna. And you see, after 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you don't necessarily look forward for those appreciations, those thumbs up. No, someone appreciated, someone didn't appreciate it. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. So the gap is there, but gap is getting fulfilled as well. The more we serve Krishna, the more we dive into Shastra, more we dive into devotee association, you'll see the gap is becoming smaller and smaller. And one day it will get sealed up. It will happen. But till that time, it's not a problem to have some sort of ego. But as far as we are putting our those passions or sort of ego, you can say, in the service of Krishna, and that ego will get purified slowly. It's not an overnight process, and so that's fine. Just be normal. Just be normal. Keep going with devotees, and devotees will just all these tunings they will do it. Sometimes with their appreciation and sometimes with their disagreements. It happens both ways. It happens. So it's all right. Okay. Ahimsa. What does ahimsa mean? We discussed a few meanings of ahimsa last class. Huh?
So we talk about real meaning is like non-violence, but in spiritual thing we talk about like when we don't understand the real knowledge and we practicing violence indirectly if you're not understanding the real knowledge, which is Krishna consciousness, and giving that knowledge to others.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji.
Sorry.
Yes, Prabhu.
I want to add one more meaning which we discussed last time, where Prabhupada said, apart from bodily level, ahimsa is also not giving others the opportunity to grow in Krishna consciousness.
Yes, yes. And this is what somehow Mohit Prabhuji also said. So understand and to give. Same thing, Prabhuji. So when we are not giving opportunity to others to grow spiritually, and it can be within a community, within a family, within a nation, so we are actually being violent. If a nation is not allowing, the king is not allowing citizens to grow nicely in their bhakti, the king is being violent. This is what it is. So Prabhupada talks about that level. So obviously bodily level violence we avoid, but Prabhupada says in this material world you cannot avoid the physical level violence. And violence, Prabhupada said, has its own importance as well. Shantir. Shantir means Prabhupada's translation. Anyone else? Okay, Mohit Prabhu, you can go. You were ready.
Now, we talk about it. Tolerance basically to accept any insult or dishonor from others, like to be tolerant, be calm.
Yeah, be tolerant. Tolerant in what perspective? Someone is beating you. You beat
Accept that.
accept. Hare Krishna.
Insult and dishonor from others.
Mohit Prabhu is a pure devotee. In general, yeah, Rupa Prabhu, Kshatriya quality.
Yeah, that's
Tit for tat. ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से देंगे.
Yeah.
Yes.
Based on what we discussed last time, Prabhu, I think it's staying consistent, staying persistent in your duty. One of the examples that you mentioned was in India, we see mothers cook food for their family members, kids, husband, elders, even in the event when it's highly heated atmosphere or during summer days, they still continue to work.
So can everyone else go on mute? There's some background noise coming, except the person who is speaking. Thank you. Yes, Rupa Prabhu.
Yeah. So, so their mothers continue to do their service, even if it's a physical hardship for them.
Yeah.
Because of the external environment.
So that's a physical level, Shantir, tolerance. What else? That's correct, Prabhuji, what you said. Prabhupada said that example. What else?
To remain persistent in Krishna consciousness no matter what happens in our life.
Thank you. So we do not get distracted from our ultimate goal of life. Now, there may be few days where you're distracted mentally or physically. Everyone goes through it. No problem with that. But not every single disturbance which comes to your life and you say, I can't chant my rounds because, I'm very disturbed. That will happen with everyone every day. There will be 100 things. So, and sometimes at the same time, there may be situations in life, physical situations in life or mental situations where you may have to take a little break from your active devotional service. It doesn't mean you quit your rounds, but other services may have to be reduced. Chaitanya Prabhu gave one nice example. There's a newborn baby in the house. Parents have to look after the baby. They may have to spend more time. They may not be so regular for next year or so. That's perfectly understood. So there may be situations where you have to spend more time in your family life. That's perfectly fine. But not every single thing which comes to life should not stop your ultimate goal. So if you are able to steadfast yourself in that goal, you are following this principle of Shantir. Arjavam, simplicity. Someone else can speak who has not participated as yet. What does simplicity mean? Prabhupada gave a very famous quote for that word. Mohit Prabhu, you are on mute.
I can try, Prabhu.
Okay, Charu Mataji.
Simplicity means being without diplomacy, or being so straightforward that you can even disclose your secrets to an enemy.
Jai. That's exactly what Prabhupada said. Yeah.
And but I have a question on that.
Okay, we'll come back to your question in a second, Mata. Anyone else want to add to this definition of simplicity, which is definitely correct? Prabhupada has given one more view on that. Simple living, high thinking. Akhandasa Prabhu, is that what you were saying?
I think also means non-duplicious.
Yeah, that's what Charu Mataji was saying. So Prabhupada also said simple living and high thinking. Simple living means you do not spend too much time on your body and bodily needs. Definitely some basic needs are there which we need to fulfill, but not too much time. Simple living and high thinking. And then Prabhupada said these days people are only living and hardly thinking. Only living. So just improving their status and this and that. But devotee is very much focused on the goal. He's thinking about whatever minimum things are needed for the body, he does that, and he moves forward for his goal. Charu Mataji.
Prabhu, Chanakya Pandit, his famous quote states that the straight trees are cut first, and honest people are the first one to be used in a wrong way.
Yes.
So how do we align that statement with this one?
It's very straightforward, Mataji. So Chanakya spoke many things, and Prabhupada has quoted a few quotes of Chanakya. So there is a material world living, and there is a when you live in a material world in a material way, and that's why it's called Chanakya Niti. There's a Vidur Niti, there's a Chanakya Niti, there's a Brahaspati Niti, there's a Kanika Niti. So there different nitis are there. So which niti to be used where, that has to be understood properly. That has to be understood properly. Now Arjun was using his arguments. Was Arjun arguments wrong in the first chapter we read? Was Arjun arguments wrong? And that was based on which Shastra? So the Shastra can be understood in three levels, you can say. So one is, say, you can say Artha Shastra or Kama Shastra, whatever. The Kamana means desire, whatever Kamanas you have. And we have Dharma, Artha, Kama. We have that. So we're not talking about illegal ways. There's a Kam. So I have a desire, like I can say a very vague example here. Muslim rulers, when they were ruling in India, at least I have read in my history books. I'm from UP. I've read all those histories. I'm not sure about the parts of India. And you see this Humayun's son killed his father, became the king. His son killed his father or locked him in the jail. Aurangzeb, put Shahnshah, I think Shahnshah was his name. Shahjahan, thank you, Prabhu. Shahjahan in the jail, was not giving any food and water and blah, blah, blah. So
limited water rule. Limited water supply.
Limited water supply, and I think only one grain he provided, and he went for gram, chana. Anyway, all those stories are there. So that's also do anything like that. But Arjun is following, it says Dharma Shastra. Arjun's argument is completely dharmic, and he has a vision not only for himself, for his family, but vision even for the society. But what Krishna is telling him to follow Bhakti Shastra. So in different situations of your life, you may have to follow different nitis, which is fine. But which niti to follow where, that has to be understood properly, and that comes from maturity and proper guidance. So our ultimate niti is Bhakti Shastra. But at the same time, sometimes you may have to fall in certain situations for Dharma Shastra or even Kama Shastra. So you have to choose properly. And if you can't choose, you have to take guidance. That's the answer. So every one in their own way is right, but which right is right for me, that we have to understand. But in general, In general, advanced devotee only follow Bhakti Shastra in every situation of life. An example, and we may not copy it, Jad Bharat. Jad Bharat was about to get killed by dacoits. He was not even moved an inch. He knew why this sword is coming over my head. He knew very clearly what's happening. He wasn't blind. He wasn't dumb. But he was completely in that situation. Haridas Thakur. So they are on a different platform. Prahlad Maharaj. We can't copy them. So we may have to run away from the situation. If someone is threatening us and we don't have enough bala, we may have to run. It's fine. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, he ran. Ramanujacharya ran from the attack as a Leela perspective. Like Ramanujacharya is a part of Lakshman. He ran when the attack was done. Quraysh didn't run. Ramanujacharya ran. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj ran. It says Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj was having a parikrama party in Vrindavan, Mayapur, I can't remember. But his parikrama party was attacked by rogues and thieves. They were like throwing big rocks and whatnot. And their target was to kill Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj. And the reason was he was just too popular, extremely popular person. And they thought in a mob, we can kill the Acharya. And one of his disciples who was in white, so Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, who was obviously in saffron, had to change the dress quickly. He took a white dress, his disciple took and his disciple was young. And he took the white dress and he ran. Maharaj also ran. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj had hernia. Hernia, if anyone knows what hernia is, hernia means there's a sort of situation in the stomach, you can't digest, you can't eat properly, and it has to be operated. You know what? Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj could not get the operation done. The police commissioner of Calcutta told him, I have been paid bribe in advance to kill you on the operation theater. The police commissioner was honest. He said, I've been given bribe in advance because they knew Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj is planning to get the operation done. Whole life, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj could not get the operation done. Now, can we say he was not following the Bhakti Shastra? No, we can't say. He's an Acharya. But the point which I'm trying to make through these examples, we are very simple people. If we have to do some adjustments in our life based on the situation, we do that. But ultimately, we're trying to become devotees. Everything else is detail. Everything else is detail. You buy a Porsche or you go by walk in a bicycle, it is all detail. Just by buying a Porsche does not make you a non-devotee. Does not make you a non-devotee. If that's the need of the situation, Prabhupada said, what is this Porsche? What is this Rolls Royce? It's just made up of tin. You should be getting a golden chariot for me. What is this car? Someone asked, oh, you are a Swami and you are going in a Rolls Royce? Prabhupada said, what is this Rolls Royce? It's made up of tin and tire and rubber. This is rubbish. This is rubbish. You should get me a golden chariot. Where's my golden chariot? Prabhupada said like that. So we have to understand everything else in the life is detail, and that's why we cannot compare. We should not judge others. We are very quick in judging others because we just don't know the situation of next person. But ultimately, in our mind, our goal is to become a devotee of Lord ASAP. Everything else, it doesn't really matter. It's all detail. Is that okay, Charumata? Without going into much detail.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
Yeah. Just do the needful. Radhanath Maharaj actually says this, do the needful. Whatever is needed in that situation, again, based on our spiritual guidance, do the needful, move on. The situation will change again. Don't worry. Even if you make it best tomorrow will change again. Day after tomorrow will be very different than what you have planned. Every day will be different in life. This is why we are in Dukkhalayam Shashvatam. This is never going to be Sukhalaya, although we always aspire for it. Rupam Prabhuji.
Yeah, bro, can you just repeat the 3 levels which you mentioned that we need to understand?
Kama Shastra, Dharma Shastra, and Bhakti Shastra. Kama Shastra also sometimes referred to as Artha Shastra. Artha means Arth ki utpatti jahan par ho. Arth mile. Arth means, again, not just the money, facility, position, power, anything. So people are into it. People are into Artha Shastra these days. Ye in kain prakar mera maan badhe, my ego should increase. Ye in kain prakar. If someone getting killed, I don't care. I should be, the top. I should be the top. Whether by money, whether by position. Sakhi Radhika Mataji.
Prabhu, today only I was hearing Radhanath Maharaj in the morning, and he was saying this point only. He said a devotee is very simple. That doesn't mean he starts staying on the road and, begging. And he said that he's simple at heart. That means he works on the principles of the Shastras. And he said that, for example, he said the principle behind correcting someone is compassion. But what do? We go to the detail and we just, make the other person feel miserable.
Yeah.
So, and he said that Srila Prabhupada was very simple.
Yeah.
And he only saw the good in the hippies, and because he was simple at heart. So,
Yeah, it's very nice. So yeah, I also get a lot of inspiration from His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. He's very good, and he said, "Do the needful." So it doesn't matter all these details. It matters to us, to be very honest. In long run, it doesn't matter. Some days in our life will be very miserable. Okay, we just have to go through it. We just have to go through it. But it doesn't mean the end of life or end of our bhakti. It doesn't mean like that. Bhakti continues. We should just strive for bhakti as much as possible in that situation. As I said, if there's a newborn baby or some similar situation, you have to spend more time with your family. So just do the needful. Sometimes your services may have to be readjusted. But again, I'm not saying 16 rounds here. I'm saying the other services, extended services. Anyway, thank you. Arjavam. Acharya Upasanam, everyone understands that? What does Upasana mean here? Mohit Prabhuji? Upasana. Acharya, everyone understand. Upasana meaning kya?
Approaching them with humility.
Okay, that's one meaning. That's one meaning. I want the real meaning. Upasana means worship.
Worship them and get their
What does
blessings.
worship mean? What does worship mean? That's what I'm asking. Take the Aarti tray.
Serving them,
Your
Prabhu.
Guru Maharaj.
Serving them.
accepting
Yes, serving them. Accept more.
And
Approaching with humility.
Following the
Approaching
instructions. Right. Following the instructions.
Following the instruction. That's the bottom line of it. Huh? I can, put a big garland on Srila Prabhupada, for example, in the biggest garland on Prabhupada Vyas Puja Day, offer him, flowers and make a nice speech for Prabhupada, cut, copy, paste from here and there. Nice speech, impress everyone. Am I really a follower of Prabhupada? May not be. Huh? Just by my few words and by big garland which I bought from the market, it's very nice, but am I really the follower of Prabhupada? So, Vani. That's what it means. Huh? Upasana means following the Vani. And under that, it can be you wash the clothes of your spiritual master. That's fine. Clean the room, cook for him, make a garland for him. Very nice. That's a part of Vani. Vapu is also important, but Vani is the. So, Acharya Upasana means Vani. Socham. Someone else can say who hasn't participated. Jai Dharma Prabhu, sitting silently, hearing. Okay.
Cleanliness, Prabhu.
What are the two cleanlinesses we heard or discussed?
External and internal, Prabhu. External, like taking a bath. Like an example, internal is by chanting.
Thank you. Our heart should be clean of all the. Thank you, Prabhuji. Isthairyam Atma Vinigraha. Who can say that? Deva Mataji, you want to try?
No, Prabhu, I wasn't there last time, so.
No problem, no problem.
Thank you.
Satyava Mata, you want to try?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Sthairam, Prabhu.
Sthairyam Atmanigra. You can do it together or separately.
Sthairam means the one who is.
Sthir.
Yes, I don't know the English meaning of that, Prabhu. Yes, sthir. And
टिका हुआ भागने वाला नहीं, हाँ? Running away again and again. One day 64 rounds, next day 4 rounds, the day after 0 rounds. That's not called sthirta. This is called nishtha. There's a stage in bhakti called nishtha. Nishtha means nitaram istha. Istha means to be situated in. Nitaram means never to fall down. So you are situated in bhakti where you do not fall down. Huh? So that is called sthirta. Sthirta means steadfastness. That's what Prabhupada writes here. Huh? Steady in devotional service. So again, there are some minimum and there are some maximum. So at least the minimum is maintained no matter what. Huh? That is called sthirta. And again, the definition will change time, place, and circumstances, obviously. Huh?
So,
Atma Vinigraha. Yes, Mata, if you want to add more. Yeah.
So Stiram, it means, Prabhu, that we should start, if we are growing spiritually, we should at least be sthir, and we should not go down from whatever level we are in. We should eventually increase our capacity and go, as you said, not 4, 0, 4, 2, and 0.
Yeah.
If we are doing, if our situation allows us 4, at least we do 4 for some time, and then commit to that, having sthirata in that, commitment in that, and then gradually increase 4, 5, 20, 25, whatever.
Yeah. Actually, that's the whole idea of spiritual life. When we start, say, coming to temple, we chant 2 rounds or 3 rounds, whatever it is. So we maintain our 2 rounds, and then devotees encourage us to chant, say, 4 rounds, like that. So we don't go backwards. And we move forward, we follow Ekadashi, Janmashtami, Ram Navami, and all that. And slowly we see our whole life is filled with Krishna. And then at the end of the life, hopefully you become a pure devotee and go back to Godhead. That's the whole idea. But if you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, I think Sankarshan Maharaj was giving this nice example. If you want to make a khichdi or anything like that, you put the fire on, and after 2 minutes you switch it off. Again you put the fire on, switch it off. Put the fire on, switch it off. Will khichdi be prepared on time? Khichdi ko time chahiye na. You need some time to cook and make that pressure. So it will not happen. So although you can say I'm cooking khichdi, which is correct actually, but the fire on and off will not work. So similarly, our devotional fire should be at least a minimum level, I'm saying, should be constantly on. Sometimes we go high fire, like Purushottam Mas. Everyone is on high fire mode. Where the day and night is going, we don't know. Everyone in the Mangala Aarti. Today I heard in the Mangala Aarti, I didn't go, to be very honest, but I heard it was so crowded. One kid felt it was suffocating, actually. He had to come out. So happy to hear this statement that it was crowded, but again, okay, there may be some arrangements can be done for those things. But so nice, no? Everyone has a family, job, and 100 other commitments. They're still coming. It's really, really nice. And whoever of you are coming, all glories to you. Very nice practice in Purushottam. So yeah, sthirta is important. If anyone wants to add anything, yes, please. All good. Sundar Gopal Prabhu, Atma Vinigraha. I think it suits your personality, this word.
I'll have to give it a pass, Prabhu.
Okay, no worries. You're so humble, huh? Manmohan Prabhu, you want to try?
Okay, Prabhu. Atma Vinigraha, self-control. So, self-explanatory, rejecting anything unfavorable for spiritual advancement.
Yes.
That's mainly, and
yeah,
then
it's a very nice definition actually. You have like put everything together, rejecting everything which is unfavorable. That is called. So it may mean you need to use your senses at some places. You use your senses. It's not like you're not using your senses. You use your senses where it's needed, because it's favorable that way. Like Arjun was killing his own spiritual master, basically speaking, right? His own grandfather. Now you can say, what a terrible activity this person is doing. No, that time he needed to do that for his advancement of bhakti. So that is completely called Atma Vinigraha. Bhima is getting angry at Dusashan, completely Atma Vinigraha. So Atma Vinigraha does not mean anyone can, just come upon you, abuse you, beat you, burn your house and all that. No, I am Atma Vinigraha. That's not the meaning here. Reject everything which is unfavorable. And that's a very actually big statement, very, very big statement. To practice that sort of nigraha, very difficult. Okay. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Who wants to do that? I haven't heard from Rasanand Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji, just 1 second. I think Sundar Gopal Prabhu or Mataji has a question. Yes.
Krishna. Prabhu, can you tell more about this Atma Vinigraha to make it more understandable? Sorry.
So control your senses and control your mind. So controlling senses is called Dhamma. Controlling mind is called Shama. So we start from controlling our senses. A very simple example. I went for a program somewhere. I'm sure some of you were there as well. So some devotees are not taking sweets, for example. Now, when they look at the sweet in the program, do you think their mind is completely controlled and say, Sweet is not for me. No, they are doing dhamma. Dhamma means they like the sweet, they really like the sweet, but they say, it's Purushottam Maas, I have taken a vow, I will not take sweet for this particular month. So they are doing Indriya Daman. They're controlling their senses. I will not take this. Not that sweet is harmful, sweet is made by devotees, offered to the Lord, it's all prasadam, all good, but it's still Atmanigraha. And the higher level will be Shama. Shama means your mind does not get even agitated by looking at those objects which you like, or at least which you used to like. So this is called Atmanigraha. Now the basic principle, so externally you can say by not eating sweet, for example, or some other things like that. But the internal principle, as Manuman Prabhuji very nicely put together, whatever is needed for the situation, whatever is helping you to advance. I'll give you one example. Bhishma Pitama did not protect Draupadi, for example, in the Sabha. Now, there are multiple reasons behind it. One angle of looking at it, he said, I have to follow Dharma. But what does Dharma say? Is to protect a person, a lady or a person who is in need. He did not follow that. And Krishna told him after he was on the bed of arrows, he said, because you did not protect Draupadi, this is why you are here. Although you could have, you didn't do that. So Bhishma Pitama is completely dharmic, but he did adharma. Why? He was following too many rules and regulations for the sake of following rules and regulations. So that time, although it was confusing, what is dharma? He said that, what is dharma? It's very confusing. Even Bhishma could not establish the real dharma in that situation. But the simple guideline is you protect. Dharma is to protect. You're not able to protect. You're a Kshatriya. Someone is coming to your shelter and you're not protecting. Actually, you're just a basic guideline before God. You remember that story of that Brahman when a butcher came and asked, where is the cow? So he is pointed by the hand. Huh? You remember that pastime. Huh? So that because I'm a Satyavan, I have to speak the truth. So I cannot speak untruth. But that time speaking untruth is the truth. So we have to maturely understand these things. When we call Atmanigraha, which I'm talking a sweet example, for example, is very external, very valid. Even that is difficult, but I'm just taking it in a deeper sense. So there's external, there's internal, and then the regular following. So if you want to save the cow, you speak the lie, so-called lie, and that will be counted as truth. You are still doing Atmanigraha. Is that okay? But there are multiple levels where you can take it, this principle too. But the point is, whatever is needed, but that has to be guided not by our contaminated mind, but with the Shastra. Huh? Cow needs to be protected. That's more important than me taking a vow that I will never speak a lie. And later in the next verse, his hand got cut. His hand got cut. You probably know the whole pastime. If not, we can chat some other time. Huh? So just because he spoke the truth, his hand got cut. He spoke the truth. Yudhishthir was hesitant to speak the lie and his chariot came down. So smart Brahmana says Yudhishthir's chariot came down because he spoke a lie. Vaishnava understanding is he did not speak lie and then he came down. No, he hesitated to speak the lie which Krishna was asking him to do. That's how his chariot came down. That's the Vaishnava understanding. But Krishna said, speak lie, and he's like, Krishna, I can't speak lie. I'm a Dharmaraj. How can I speak a lie? You are going with Krishna. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. Bhagwan is saying lie, lie. Bhagwan said to Arjun, you kill Bhishma Pitama. Arjun killed Bhishma Pitama. That's dharma. Now, don't analyze from material mundane perspective. You can't. You can't. If you do that, you'll get confused. That's why people get confused with Krishna Leela. In Krishna's when Krishna was young in Vrindavan, he did this and he did that. Because you are analyzing from a completely different angle, which you should not, you cannot. Okay, I'll stop here. Is that okay? Okay, there are two questions. Whoever was the first one, Ujjwala Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. In this point, Atma Vinigraha, can the example of Ambrish Maharaj be applied because he engaged all his senses in the service of the Lord? So can that be also applied this
very
particular
good
point?
And actually Prabhupada writes that self-control does not mean you just do a maun vrata, like non-speaking vrata or something like that. Self-control means engage your senses in Krishna Seva. And that's why I'm saying there are multiple levels to it. Huh? We start from this external meaning, but then we can move down to the principle. So you're right, Mataji. He was fully self-controlled. And the example given is when the Kritya was coming, the Demnes was coming to kill Maharaj Ambarish, he did not move a step, did not move. He was completely self-controlled. How many of us will be standing there when Kritya is coming? We'll like, where is the closest exit? We'll start looking. Bhaad mein gaya dharma. First is me, then I'll think about dharma. Be honest, and that's fine. No one will blame you and should not. And that's why I gave the example of Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj. He's an acharya, but why is he doing that? I was also thinking about it when I heard it first time. Then I understood. Actually, he's an acharya. He is displaying for the common people what we should do. We should not like be hesitant in those things, because if it's happening with Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, do you think people will not mistreat us? Definitely. They will misrepresent us, mistreat us, misunderstand us, do all these nonsense. But that's the way this world is. They don't even leave Mother Sita. They don't even leave Krishna and Ram. Why are they going to leave you and me? But that's fine. We don't need their certificate. We need Prabhupada certificate. We need our Guru's certificate. We need devotee certificate. We are very clear on that. If we are trying sincerely, just keep moving. Okay? Prasannatma Prabhuji. Last question and we'll move forward.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, you told this, Yudhishthira didn't follow Lord Krishna's instruction.
Yep.
How do we know what to follow and what not to follow? If you take our ISKCON institution, like previously, like long time back, some events happened. It was not very good. So the disciples might have done it thinking, our spiritual master, what he said is correct. But so many damage happened actually. So how do you know what to follow and what not to follow? Where do we draw the line?
Yes, very, very good question, Prasannatma Prabhu. And this is where we are struggling our whole life. Many times, many times, the devotees wants to do the right thing. I can say from my experience, devotees are very nice people. They try to do the right thing, but many times they are confused what is right and what is wrong. So they're not necessarily sinning or trying to hurt someone, but they still end up hurting other people, not because they wanted to, because they were confused. Now, what's the root cause of it? There are multiple reasons behind it, and that can be a whole class in itself. Two primary reasons are there. We carry, my spiritual master gave a class very nicely. He says, when we come into the spiritual life, we carry our material luggage into our spiritual life. Suppose I was drinking alcohol or drugs or blah, blah, blah. So when I start my spiritual life, it doesn't mean those impressions will go away in one night, right? We'll still have the feelings of lust, greed, anger, and all that. And where you will express? In the circle of devotees, isn't it? So not that we want to do, but we are conditioned, so much conditioned by that. I know one disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, Radhesham Prabhu is mentioning him in the class, so I don't know him personally or anything. He's by nature, he's very angry guy, and people come and complain to this Pune temple president. And but he was saying he has this quality which he should not have. He's saying clearly, right? But he does so much seva he does. So although this quality is wrong, we're not denying it, but at the same time, he's doing so many other right things. So we can't sort of ban him or something that, you get out from the temple just because you have one disqualification. So we all have disqualifications. So one thing is our conditioning, which we carry. Another thing is many times we interpret the Shastra in a very different way, or we don't take enough guidance in different situations from our superiors. We don't try to really understand the intention of our spiritual master. Many times spiritual master may say something which we interpret very differently than what he intended to. Many times it happens. My spiritual master says that, my spiritual master says that. What's the meaning of it? That we have to get down to. So many times, Prabhuji, lack of guidance, which again can be because of two reasons. I don't want to get the guidance, or I want to get guidance, no one is there to guide me. That's also a situation in our temples. There are very less guides. Many times we really want to speak to someone, there's no one to speak with, to be honest. That's why we have this counseling and counselors and this and that. But many times the systems are also not working. One sannyasi was saying, I will not name it. Anyone belongs to this Chowpatty temple, or you know about Chowpatty temple? There's a big counseling system there. And the sannyasi, ISKCON sannyasi, current ISKCON sannyasi, very, very nice sannyasi, is saying it's a joke. He said it's a joke. Big thing. Not that the principle is wrong, principle is very right, is to help devotees, but it has become a joke. Many people are just not using it properly, the counselors and the counselees, both. Now, who to blame? It's not the person who has made this system. They have made the system to benefit people. But these, Prabhu, you and me, my Guru Maharaj said, ISKCON has ideals, but ISKCON is not ideal. ISKCON has ideals, but ISKCON is not ideal. Why? Because it's made up of you and me who are imperfect. Sorry. It's made up of you and me. We are not pure. We are contaminated, and we also sort of assume many positions, and we run those positions with those consciousness, and the result is not so pure. And that's why Guru Maharaj said, ISKCON's preaching is not growing because of you, it's growing in spite of you. He said in the class in Sydney, he said, I still remember that, it's not growing because of you. He pointed to all the crowd, whoever was sitting there, 100 people or something. We think we are a great preacher. What great preacher you are? We make more mistakes actually. He says Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is preaching. You're not preaching. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is preaching. So there are multiple factors, Prabhu, multiple factors. Our Guru Maharajas, they are literally so big, they have like 50,000 disciples. How they can personally guide? It's just the way it is. So we have to understand all these situations, and then Prabhupada said, make the best use of the bad bargain. Make the best use. You may not be the best, do your best in your situation. But if we are under the Shastra as much as possible, we will be safe. We will be safe, and try not to commit Vaishnava aparadh. We don't know, step back. Step, Prabhu, I don't know. I don't need to go inside this. If it is not your duty, step back. Anything else can be covered up. But if you come inside this Vaishnava aparadh zone, it becomes very difficult for Krishna, then very, very difficult for Krishna and spiritual master to take you back. So there are a few cautions we can take. It's a detailed topic.
Prabhu, but you spoke about from the disciples' perspective. But if the spiritual master himself is, I shouldn't tell that, but it has happened in the past. They are not really that up to that mark, and they gave some wrong instruction to the disciples, and they followed it. So how do we take that? How do we understand?
Okay, so first thing is, we are not to judge anyone, to any spiritual master, to any devotee, or to a disciple, who was right, who was wrong. What we hear in news, in this emails and all that, that can be absolutely wrong. I'll be very honest, I personally lost trust in all the information which I get. Unless I know something, I don't believe it. I'm being very honest, bro. Because what people tell you can be exactly opposite than the reality. Exactly opposite. So first thing first, we don't get the true information, and if it is true information, we don't know the situation, we don't know the spiritual master, we don't know, everything is a news. Everything is a news. It's called Chinese whisper. So we don't have to get inside all that. And even if something has happened wrong, so Prabhupada said that everyone will not be the first class devotee. There are some second and third class devotees who has assumed the position of first class devotees, and there will be gaps. It's just bound to happen. It's no surprise. We are in Kali Yuga. It's bound to happen. Sannyasis could not maintain their vows, and it happened. So what to do there? What to do? But it's none of our business. It's between that devotee, a sannyasi, ex-sannyasi, and Krishna. Why are we putting our mind there? My simple theory is like that. Unless it impacts me directly, then you start thinking, how can I save my spiritual life? And if you have to save your body and your possessions, yes, you have right to save your body and possessions. There's no harm. My spiritual master told a situation in a temple. We don't need to name anyone here, where this temple president was having an affair with a congregation Mataji and her daughter at the same time. Temple president having an affair with the congregation Mataji, a married Mataji, obviously, and her daughter at the same time. Now, what will the impact on the brother of this lady? Just imagine in your mind. It's happening right now. So, I mean, a few years ago, just recent. So, what are you going to do with all this? But it's none of our business. Krishna will handle it. If you are a zonal guru, then you have to think about it, how to resolve this issue. We are not. So I think rather we spend more time in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and becoming a better sadhaka and moving forward. We have enough of our own problems rather than to think and deal or analyze about others' problem, isn't it? So let's
Yes.
continue the journey in a simple manner. If you start thinking about the whole world, you can't. And Krishna is not giving you that seva. So let's keep it simple. My spirit must just keep it simple. Keep it simple. You think how you can become a better devotee unless there's a service for you. We have enough services and enough problems, isn't it?
Okay, okay, bro. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
When the service will be given, we'll see that day. Okay. Any more
So that's
comments?
what we heard in 9:30. It's in Anandya Bhakta Sadhu Revacha.
Yeah.
So even though if they do any, they are still sadhus, Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji sometimes becomes difficult to understand, and I'm being very honest. But what I'm saying is between devotee and Krishna. Has Krishna given us the seva? You go and analyze, is he a bhakta or a non-devotee? No one is asking us this question. We just hear and start contemplating on these subject matters. Women should become a guru or should not become a guru. Arey, who is asking your opinion? People are having discussion and Sunday feast while taking prasadam, and this group is right and that group is wrong. Who has asked your opinion? That's my first question. Who are you to give your opinions? How much Shastra you know? How much GBC rules you know? How much situations you know which is happening outside, inside? We just read a news on website, a paragraph or so, and then we start giving our judgments that this devotee group is wrong, this devotee group is right. No one has asked you. You don't have adhikar to step inside. So keep it simple. Worry about your own bhakti, and that way it will be safe. Okay, let's move forward. I think we are discussing on some sensitive matters today.
Prabhu.
Okay, yeah. Rasanand Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. No, continuing on this, Prabhu, can we say on
yes.
the same word, Atma Vinigraha,
yeah.
Can we also quote the Nectar of Instructions, verse number 2, concerning the rejection of all unfavorable things? So there's a guidance given over there.
Yes, Manmohan Prabhuji already actually said that, and you're reinforcing. Yeah, that's definitely right. So that's the whole bottom line summary. Yes, yes.
Okay, coming to this word, Prabhu, Indriyaya Adarshtu. So, meaning given by Prabhupada is in the matter of the senses. Basically, it's trying to renunciate the sense objects. So we should not be catering for unnecessary things, for whatever required only for the minimum for the body has to be done. Already, as you said, simple living, high thinking. This also for this verse it comes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And Prabhupada in the purport also given how we can control this just by chanting and taking Krishna Prasadam.
Yeah.
And using all the sense object as a yukta vairagya and service of the Lord.
Yes, Prabhuji. That's very nice. Not unnecessarily engaging our senses as much as possible in other things other than in advancing our devotional life. Okay, Ahankar, I think we already discussed that. Anahankar with Dambha, we discussed that. Janam Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukh Doshanudarshanam. Who hasn't done anything today? I would like them to participate if possible. Sakhi Radhika Mataji, would you like to try?
Yeah. Prabhu, it talks about, we're talking about the birth, death, disease, and old age, right?
Yep, that's one. It's very actually famous one.
So here in this, Prabhupada always mentions that we should not forget, we should always hear about these 4 problems, and this helps us to understand that this is Dukhalyam and we need to get out of here. So it is like, it helps. I was thinking it is like a cushion for all other things. It is like, it reminds us that we have to develop the previous one.
Yes. Yes, and also actually Prabhupada writes in the purport, whoever does not see these things as a problem will not develop the other things. If you see Janma Jaravyadi is fine, I'll take Janma in a Birla family and Bill Gates family. What's the problem? I'll enjoy my life. So unless you have a pessimistic view about the materialistic life, you cannot develop the other things. So it's very, very important. I think Bhakti Siddhant Maharaj or Bhakti Thakur, I can't remember, one of them, he said, the preacher's job, what is the most important job of a preacher? So you're all preachers, you're taking your Bhakti Vaksha or something else, different places. What's the first thing a preacher should do as per Bhakti Vinod Thakur or Bhakti Siddhant Maharaj? He said the first thing, you have to break the faith in materialistic life of the other people. Break the faith. So as far as they have faith in material life, they will not have faith in spiritual life. So first thing you should do, try to break faith that this material life, no matter what it offers you, all these offers are fake. All these offers are fake. It does not give any good offer. The real offer comes from Krishna. Purushottam is a real offer. It has no like strings attached. It's a real offer by Krishna. Damodar Mas, Janmashtami, they're all real offer. One Ram Nam is a real offer by Krishna. All these, fake sales on websites and on the real stores. All these people, you're my, what do you call, buddy. They call it buddy. I have 500 friends in Facebook or something like that. I don't have any. I'm not even on a Facebook, but I'm saying people get very proud. I have so many friends. What sort of friends do you have? Even if you have one good friend, one devotee friend, your life is successful. Can be successful. If you have 500 rubbish friends, what's the point actually? What's the point? So the quality matters. It's not the quantity. The quality matters. How much quality friend circle you have. In Shastra, Nityananda Maharaj, I was driving him from A place to B place, and Maharaj on the way, in a very nice mood, he says, Shastra is our only friend. Goswamis are our only friend. I was like, I still remember the whole picture in my mind. And Maharaj said with so much conviction. I don't have conviction, but I really liked when Maharaj said, Shastra is our friend. Make Shastra your friend. Goswami is your friend. Then you can feel really nice. So we should not bother too much about this unnecessarily other things. Make Goswami. Goswami is their writings. Their writings, what they have written and given to us, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and other books by their Goswamis. They are our real friend. Bhagavatam is our real friend. And then when we get the taste of that friendship, all the other tastes of other friendship and all these self-gratificatory things will just go down. And one day we'll be coming out of it. Yes, Sundar Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
Prabhuji, in regards to this same concept that you were telling about the preaching, that one should break the faith in material life as a first process. So when I think one can only understand these miseries when the person has love for Krishna, Prabhu, isn't it? If the
Not really. Like many people, Mataji, you'll see they are frustrated, they are depressed, not because they love Krishna. They just material life is just throwing too much on them. So that maybe it's a right time to tell them, better there is another way as well. You don't have to get depressed about 3 failures of your life. Your house got ruined, you lost your job, you lost your health, you lost your family. It's all right. It's all right. That's the way it was. Because people just don't know. Many people are very nice actually, but they just don't know there's something outside this world. They're outside this body, outside this life, and they really get depressed. And if you really think from that perspective, their depression is not wrong. Because they just don't know there's so much out there because they're just bound with that body and with that one relation, with one job or one asakti, and that's it. And when that gets broken, that's taken away, they get completely shattered. Oh my God, what is happening with me? God doesn't exist. Because if our God existed, then he would have taken care of me nicely. So this may be, and many times it's extreme other faith when people are enjoying, so-called enjoying so much, and you take, Bhagavad Gita to them, it's like, pagal ho gaye? You want me to read this book? You should be giving me something else of my taste. So the both extremes are there, but this is the job of preacher, and the expert preacher knows what to give, when to give, how much to give, where to give, and that comes by maturity. I was speaking to some person yesterday. He started a preaching project recently, which with all the nice intentions, but he just told me yesterday he had to step back. I said, why? He had his own issues. Okay, people have all sorts of issues. Not a wrong one. I'm not saying wrong because there are different challenges in every field. He said, I have to learn more. I'll come back. I said, okay, no problem. No problem. Take your time.
I was thinking, Prabhuji, like my main question was that when we, as a sadhakas, when we want to get out of this material world, we would like to serve Krishna personally, right? So we have developed that love for Krishna and we want to serve, and that's the purpose. But for a person who doesn't have love for Krishna, and when we are trying to preach them, and the one who is enjoying in this material life, and they're very happy and satisfied, and even they are doing the demigod worship just to get more and more benefit, how to break that circle? And how, I don't know, like maybe I've not read much, but how did Prabhupada turned all those people into and developed that Krishna prem and made them go have that purpose, to have that purpose in life?
Okay, how Prabhupada did it? That's a simple one. The other one is difficult. Your first part is difficult. Second is easy. So Prabhupada's purity preached them. It wasn't anything else. Prabhupada was so pure in his personality, in his message, in his heart. He was totally via media as a messenger of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he said that I did not try to change the message. I presented the message as it is. I did not add. I did not delete anything. Whatever I learned from my spiritual master, from the books, I presented to the public as it is. We are not able to do that because we are not pure. I'm not, at least. So because of our contamination, the Vani, you may be speaking the same words what Prabhupada said, but the effect will not be there, or will be less, because Vani is not just the words. The impact comes on the heart. Like when a spiritual master says something, it touches the heart. Sometimes, at least, sometimes, if not all the times, it touches the heart. Why? Because he's pure. He's pure. His Vani is pure. I may repeat the same sloka and like, get out. Why? The purity isn't there. Purity isn't there. So Prabhupada could change these people because of the strength of his purity. That's the first part. Now, another part is, which you asked, the first part, how to convert them. Many times you can't. You can only sow a seed and expect a plant to come out of the field which is fertile. If you're sowing a seed in an infertile land, plant will not come out. So you have to know consciously, maturely where to sow your seed, where to spend your time. So you try. If you fail, it's fine. We all fail. We have failed many times, so not a big deal. Every soul has their own conditioning and has their own karmic cycle. When they are ready to receive the seed, they will receive. Remember, Jad Bharat only preached to one person in his life, which we are aware of, at least in Bhagavatam, right? Did he not have the knowledge earlier? He hadn't finished his Bhakti Shastri course. Only after Bhakti Shastri course, he found Rahugan, the first one. And Bhaiya, please sun lo. No one is hearing me. Nothing. He had all these degrees in the previous life itself. So sow your seed where you expect a plant. And even after sowing a seed, you don't see the plant. Maybe the plant will come after you have passed. You never know. You are sowing a seed, it will fructify after 3 lifetimes. It's possible. So you keep sowing the seed, but at the same time be mature. Don't just sow the seed anywhere, because there are some infertile lands. Even some Prabhupada disciples, I give an example, left Prabhupada. Now what can you say about that? What an unfortunate situation. They left Prabhupada. So there will be some infertile lands around us. Even we are infertile, to be honest. We are only little fertile. So don't worry about it. You do your job, leave the rest to Krishna. I have given Bhagavad Gita to this person. I've given whatever I knew, little bit, and rest. Prabhupada also said, what you will preach in a 1-hour class, my books will preach. Preaching means book distribution. Prabhupada said that. So we're not preaching. Right now, what we are reading is Prabhupada's wealth, which we are sharing with each other. It's Prabhupada's wealth. So we can't preach. We don't have capacity to preach. Prabhupada said, I'll preach. He said, you give my books, I'll preach. What you will preach? He said that openly. So just do your job, step back. Don't take the ownership that he's not coming back to temple, he's not reading Bhagavad Gita. No problem. You have given the book, Prabhupada will do the job. And even if you think in this lifetime the job is not happening, no problem. It will happen in one lifetime. Prabhupada said, my book are like time bomb. They will explode one day. That one day, maybe after 100 years, we don't know. The soul is not ready. Soul has to pass through all these karmic reactions before they can accept the Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shastra says that Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarunti Sa Mahatma Sudurlava. So some souls take Bahunam Janmanamante, and actually we are the example. How many of us we have taken? Only Krishna knows. So, everyone is in journey. So we should not, that's why, hate anyone or feel failure about ourselves. Don't feel discouraged. Just keep doing your duty. Just keep doing your duty. Our acharyas are very powerful, very, very powerful. They will do the needful when the right time comes. So we can just do the job, step back. Hare Krishna. You come to temple, I'm very happy. You don't come to temple, I'm still happy. It's all right. Okay.
Thank you.
आज का पूरा क्लास तो सब sensitive topics पर ही जा रहा है. Prasanna and Prabhu, I'm just saying this class is getting spent on all the sensitive topics. But it's nice. Sometimes we can spend this time.
Knowledge section, Prabhu.
Knowledge section, Hari bol. Vijay Gopi Mataji, you said something?
Yes, Prabhu, but it's good to know the details of each and every quality, Prabhu, so we can use it in our day-to-day life.
Yes.
Which is like a qualification for to be a devotee. So it's nice to understand it very deeply.
Yes, Mata. We are not touching it very deeply, to be honest. We are still summarizing it. They are really deep words. Jan Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukh Dosham Darshanam. We can have at least 2-3 seminars just on this one line. Really means it is a very deep thing. Like Anu Darshanam, anyone remembers? Still remembers Anu Darshanam? We read in 8.5 or 8.7. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmaridacha. What is the meaning of Anu? Priya Mataji. Sorry, I haven't heard from you, Priya Mataji. If you want to share your opinion. Anu, I'm asking a question. What is the meaning of Anu? Not Anu, atom. Someone said one time. Anu means atom. No, when I'm saying Anu, which is used as prefix in many Sanskrit words, what does it mean? That's my question. Anyone can say.
Yeah, Anu means, in this context, Darshanam is to see, and Anu is to see through the lens of Shastra.
Very good, very good. So that's one meaning. Another meaning?
The other meaning is to see constantly and deeply from a Shastric vision.
Yeah, so Shastric vision group of Prabhu already said. So constant seeing, constant seeing. More?
There's also we discussed what subordinate.
Anugatya mein sochna. Anugatya means to start thinking as I am a servant, as I'm a servant of this. Huh? So there's a principle given, and as a servantship, I'm following that. And also it means again and again. Huh? Aaj to bahut socha. Today I thought a lot, and tomorrow I'll go for India-Pakistan match. I'm not stopping you, but I'm just saying an example which came to my immediate mind. But you get my point, huh? So again and again, every day you should think, my Janma is a problem, my Vyadhi is a problem, my Mrityu is a problem. How can I overcome it? I'm not scared of death. And we should not. But the point is, why I'm dying again and again? Huh? That's the point. And there are many more points. Okay. Asakti. Asakti. Who will explain Asakti? I prefer from whom who have not participated as yet. But not who are driving. Please, you can switch off your cameras. It's perfectly fine if you have to drive while in the class. It's unsafe. Anyone? Asakti.
Sorry, Prabhu, I just turned off Vinay Prabhu's camera because I saw he was trying to.
Yes, I thought he did it. I thought he was very quick. No, please don't do that. It's not safe for you, and we want you to be safe. We would prefer cameras on, but please be safe wherever you are. Asakti.
Prabhu, can I?
Yes, Mata.
If you allow me, I'll just give an example which I heard from Itai Savini Mataji this morning.
Yes, Mata.
Regarding this Ashakti, there was a devotee who went to Srila Ramanujacharya, and Asakti is sacrificing everything for Krishna. Here it says you should not have any attachment to the family, children, or home, or property, and other things. This example she has given this morning, a devotee went to Ramanujacharya and he said, Ramanujacharya, please give me sannyasa because my wife passed away yesterday, and I have lived with her for 40 years. Not even a drop of tears came in my eyes. See how detached I am, I'm not attached. Prabhupada did not give sannyas, whereas Ramanujacharya did not give any sannyas order to him. Whereas another devotee came and said, he was crying a lot and he said, I lost my son, can you please give me sannyas? And Ramanujacharya immediately gave sannyas to him. And then the first devotee was very, angry. He said, I'm saying that I am so detached, but you're not giving sannyas. And then Ramanujacharya said, if you're not able to love your family, how can you able to love Krishna? So that was the example she gave. Like, it is not that we are just having no feelings towards the family, but we should use the family to serve them as a Krishna's children. That is detachment.
Yeah.
What my understanding is.
Yeah. No, it's very nice example, a very appropriate example. So it's not about not loving your family or your community or your friends, nothing like that. And actually, when you become devotee, you love more deeply, very deeply. Like without Krishna consciousness, you love on a bodily level, many times, if not all the time. But when you understand we are all souls and Krishna has given me this seva, actually your love increases. Your love increases for your loved ones. So it's better to be a devotee and then love them rather than being a non-devotee and then love them. Many times people don't understand it. Okay, Mataji has completed 2 lines, so I'll move forward. Nityam cha sam chittatvam. So this we understand, quite straightforward. Who can say? Jamvati Mataji, would you like to say this? Very straightforward one.
So, Nityam,
I've highlighted on the screen, yeah, or in your book you can see.
Oh, yeah. Nityam is constant always.
Samachittatvam.
Samachitta, being balance, like balancing out, using your what do you call it, common sense sort of.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Equivision, we call it. Huh? In 518, we heard Vidya Vinay Sampanni like that. What does chitta mean? Who can say that? All the Sanskrit scholars can step in.
So mind.
Mind. No.
Hriday?
Yes and no. Hriday. No. Definitely not
Consciousness.
biological heart, Prabhuji.
Consciousness.
Consciousness, not really. More. I want more accurate meaning. Sorry. Just, huh?
Focus. Focus.
Focus. Not really. सब लोग टप्पा मार रहे हैं. Yes,
From the heart.
From the heart. What does heart mean? My biological heart?
Man.
Man. Aage. Yeah. Okay, you are in the right direction, Mataji. Someone said mind, right direction, but I don't have the accurate answer as yet.
Opinion.
Not in the right direction. Huh?
Opinion.
Opinion.
तो
मन से ही तो opinion आएगी.
मेरा चित है या
वो मेरा मत है.
मेरा मत है, sorry.
मत और चित सब कुछ खिचड़ी.
Like subconscious.
Iceberg.
Prabhu, you gave the example of the iceberg.
Yes, thank
the
you.
one which is deep down, which is not even
Deep
visible.
down. Yes. So Jai Dharma Prabhu also said subconscious mind. So there's a conscious mind, there's a subconscious mind. So there are many desires situated in our subconscious mind, which we are also not aware of. So like in our, RAM, in computer, we have this RAM, 2 gig RAM or 4 gig RAM or something like that. Some devotees are smiling. Ye kis jawani ki baat kar raha hai? Today we get 16 GB RAM at least, I guess. Huh? Anyway, my computer is quite old. Okay, so mind also you can divide in 2 parts. Mind itself is a subtle, but that also you can divide in 2 parts. One is the conscious mind, which you are aware of. There are many things happening in your life right now, and your mind will be full with all those garbage, for example. Huh? Deeper than that, as Ujjwala Samataji is saying, there's just a top of the tip of the iceberg which you see, which is called conscious mind. There's a subconscious mind. So when you say chitta vritti nirodha, and this word you will read in Bhagavatam as well or in Bhagavad Gita, what does it mean? Your chitta, even including your subconscious mind, should get purified. So devotion service is the only way to purify your subconscious mind as well. Like many retreats and seminars, art of living and this living and that living. I haven't been, but I've heard about it. People go and sometimes they feel calm, and we're not denying it. Huh? Your mind gets settled, you feel calm. But which mind is getting calm? You know which one? The conscious mind, which is only the tip of the iceberg. The deeper mind still have lust, greed, anger, envy, madness, this all exists. So this is why devotional service purifies your subconscious mind as well. Your chitta. Chitta refers to that subconscious mind. So when you say mind, it does not really, when we say mind, it's a conscious mind we are talking about. So he's talking about chitta. So nityam cha samchittatam. So Jamati Mataji, coming back to your explanation, it's a quite deep thing actually. It's quite deep thing. So in our vision, we can be sama for, oh yeah, we India ka hai, he's also Indian, I'm also Indian, maybe some ties there. But we're not talking about that sort of equanimity here. We're talking quite deep thing here. Our subconscious mind, like we love everyone, literally from the heart. We respect ant as well as a demigod, like that. Again, from our practical purposes, we may have to treat them differently. A lion will be treated differently than a man or woman, which is fine for all the practical purposes. But inside our mind, we understand they are both souls. Nityananda Prabhu, he was going in a boat. We read this in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he saw a crocodile, a big crocodile coming towards boat. Now, when we are in that situation, what do? Boatman, run fast in the opposite direction. Nityananda Prabhu tells to boatman, go there. He said, Pagal ho gaya. Go there, and he goes close to this crocodile and slaps crocodile, and he says, chant Hare Krishna. Now, it's quite unimaginable for us, and don't try it out. Please, not recommended at all for human beings like us. Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can go to the jungle of Jharkhand and ask these tigers and elephants to chant Hare Krishna, and he can do all this. But just for a perspective, we can see, they see this is also a soul in an animal body, in a crocodile body, or a human body. They don't distinguish. They both need to go back to Godhead. So they are seeing from that perspective. We can't, but that's what it is, quite deep. Yes, Uchalo Samataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. When you mentioned that only devotional service can purify and cleanse the subconscious mind, which is deep down, which even we are not aware of. So are we talking about the seeds which are there, which we may have carried for the lifetimes? So they get cleansed. Is that what the point is?
They get roasted. If we read in NOD, Nectar of Devotion, they get roasted. So the seed which are not fructified as yet, in the example given, Mataji, if you sow a seed, suppose Akhandasa Prabhu sown some seeds, while you're away on 3 days holidays in a Hare Krishna retreat somewhere, and Prabhu couldn't make it. So you come back and you see 2 seeds coming out. You say, oh, Akhandasa Prabhu, thank you. You sowed some tulsi plants. But Akhandasa Prabhu, thoda der ruko, abhi baigan ka plant bhi aayega. Wait for some time, eggplant is also coming, right? But you don't see that, right? You see what has come up. So when we deal with each other, what we see actually is a part of what is coming up. What is inside their mind, you don't know. You don't know, right? That's why it's quite deep down. So yes, you're right. But they get roasted. NOD says, Rupa Goswami says, they get roasted. So a roasted seed will not germinate, So bhakti has that power. We'll read that. I think second chapter or third chapter of NOD. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's move forward. Ishta, Anishta, Upapattishu. So Ishta, Anish, we understand actually. So actually this line both are same. So Samchittattvam in what? Ishta or Anishta. So Ishta means favorable, Anishta means unfavorable. We all understand Anishta word. In Hindi as well we use this. Anishta ho gaya. Anishta ho gaya. I think Gaur Gopal Prabhu was saying the same situations can be seen from 2 different perspectives. कोई कहता है मैं बर्बाद हो गया, कोई कहता है मैं आबाद हो गया. Same situation, spiritualists will see quite differently than the materialistic person. He will say, okay, I've lost everything. And spiritualists will say, thank you, Krishna, for taking all these obstacles away from me. So, कोई कहता है मैं बर्बाद हो गया, कोई कहता है मैं आबाद हो गया. So it's our perspective which we see it from. So Ishta and Anishta, favorable or unfavorable, it's been defined by the person. It's not that Anishta is for Anishta for everyone, not like that. If you get a lottery ticket, for example, just not that devotees buy lotteries, a simple example. If you get, $1 million lottery, there were 20 people who sort of bought the ticket, but you are the one who received the lottery. So what you will call it as, Ishta or Anishta? No, don't give a devotional answer, just give a simple answer. Divya Mata saying something, but you're on mute, I guess. No, you're not saying. Okay, no problem. Sorry, I thought you were saying something. So you'll call it Ishta or Anishta if you get a $1 million lottery. In a simple terms, 20
Yes, we
devotees.
will be happy, bro.
Happy, right? See,
Yes.
Mataji is honest. Yes, I'll be happy as well. What a problem. Our new temple is coming up. They need a lot of money, $12 million. Why not? At least I can make that excuse. Anyway, so you think it's Ishta, right? You think it's favorable. What 19 are thinking? Anishta. Same event is being seen by different people differently because you got the lottery ticket. You're like, yeah, maza aa gaya, I'm so happy. Ishta. But saying same event for other person, Anishta. So your success may be the cause of someone else's failure. That's why you say, Isha Vasaitam Sarvam. You should not take more than your quota because if you take more than your quota, someone else might be hungry. So if there are 5 chapatis in the plate, there are 5 people. So everyone's supposed to take 1 chapati. But if you take 2 chapatis, that means you're taking quota of someone else. And someone else will be hungry. So we should be very careful in what we take, how much we take. And it says, devotee is the one, ideally speaking, my Guru Maharaj says, you give more than what you get. It's really nice statement. I like that. You give more than what you get. In every relationship, we give something, we get something. In devotee circle also, we give something, we get something. But he said, try to give more than what you get. You'll be happy. Right now, what we are trying to do, get more than what we give. Milega kya? What I'm going to get. So Maharaj said, no, give more, give more, give more. Now, it doesn't mean, you give 1 to 1 as a transaction. No, it's not. That's not what it means. Give means give Krishna. Give Krishna. In whatever form you can give Krishna. It's not a transaction between devotees. There's no transaction. It's all loving exchanges between devotees. So each person should try to give more Krishna in whatever capacity we can to each other. Give more than what you get. And this is called Devata. Manushya is always getting more. So we are not Manushya. In that terms, we can say we are trying to become demigods because that's a very nice characteristic. कहते हैं खाना मनुष्य का काम है खिलाना देवताओं का To eat is the job of humans. To feed is the job of demigods. So you should feed. Feed again means to give. As much as you can, whatever you can give. So Ishta and Anishta is being defined by the perspective. Mai cha ananya yogene bhaktir avyabhicharani. Now which section we are in? 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which belongs to which section?
Jnana Yoga.
Jnana Yoga. And within the Jnana Yoga, it's like the 10th verse or something? What Krishna is saying? Bhakti avyabhicharani. What does vyabhichar mean? Anyone knows? Vyabhichar? In Hindi also we use the word.
Vyabhichar is doing
Broken.
things, doing things against the dharma or materialistic way as well.
Debauchery. There's a word in English called debauchery. I heard this word from Sri Prahlad Prabhu in a lecture, and he said to Krishna, Radharani is telling Krishna, you are a debauchee. I was writing in my notes and nice word. So Radharani is telling Krishna, you are a debauchee. What does debauchee mean? Who have more than one partners. So Radharani is saying to Krishna, you are a debauchee. Because he's going to Chandravali and all that. And he's Radharani, at least from Leela perspective, is like that. So Vyabhichar means you go to more people than what you are supposed to, right? So Avyabhichar means what will happen? Vyabhichar means unchastity. So Avyabhichar means chastity. So Bhakti Avyabhicharani. Anyone can give example from Srimad Bhagavatam of the similar thing in Srimad Bhagavatam, a famous verse 126. They have given the reference as well. Srimad Bhagavatam 126. Rupa Prabhu is typing in Google.
Unalloyed devotion to Ayuti.
Yes. Ahetuki apratihata. Ahetuki apratihata, which can also be translated as avyabhicharani. No vyabhichar. Do you think we are all vyabhichari? The answer is yes. I'm sorry. Why? Sometimes we go to Krishna, sometimes we go to Maya. Is it right or wrong? I can say about myself, can't say about you. We always go to Krishna. We have some faith in Krishna, some faith in Maya. That means, are we vyabhichari? Our bhakti is vyabhichari or avyabhichari? I'm just asking a simple question. Our bhakti is at the moment is vyabhichari, means mixed. In good words, I can say it's mixed bhakti. Huh? Not that it's wrong to start with, but it's mixed. So Krishna is saying bhakti avyabhichari. So which bhakti Krishna likes? Now bhakti also has different sort of products. Sometimes you get deshi ghee and shuddha deshi ghee, 100% shuddha deshi ghee. Huh? All these words are added.
Organic desi ghee.
Organic desi ghee, mother cow desi ghee, and this desi ghee, that desi ghee. Why they have to add? Desi ghee is only one actually, isn't it? Why they have to add all these adjectives to it? Because desi ghee can also be mixed. Bhakti can also be mixed. We know there are Shuddha Bhakti and Ashuddha Bhakti and mixed Bhakti. So which Bhakti Krishna likes here as per this verse?
Ananya Bhakti.
Ananya, Avyabhichari. Avyabhichari means Krishna saying Krishna is very, very monopoly God. मेरे सिवा किसी के पास मत जाओ. Don't go to anyone except me. Krishna is very possessive, very, very possessive. And he's saying, only come to me, even if you are artho jigyasu artharthi, chalega. पैसा मांगना है मेरे पास आओ. You want money, you want fame, you want family, you want this and that, good wife, good husband, good children, good wealth. Come to me, Kardam Muni, going to Vishnu. What do you want? I want a good wife. No, Dhruva, what do you want? I want a lot of money. Huh? Come to me, come to me, come to me. And that is called Bhakti Avyabhichari. So we have any problems, we can go to Krishna. Huh? Now don't go to Krishna only for the problems, but we can go to Krishna. Vivikta Desha Sevitam. Vivikta mani? Alag alag. So Vivikta Desha Sevitam means we stay alone. Now here staying alone, Prabhupada sort of expands on it. We stay alone means we do not mingle with materialistic people more than needed. Now we have to go to work, we have to go in a public transport and all that. We have to live with our neighbors who may be eating meat and all that. But we don't mingle them more than what's needed. Huh? So Vivikta Desh saved them. Prabhupada said, what is Vivikta Desh for us? 180 Falcon Street, Hare Krishna temple. Or any sanghas happening. We went to a beautiful sangha this morning. Huh? Nice kirtan, nice abhishek. So that is called Vivikta Desh Sevitam. Aratir Jan Samsadi. So basically we are staying away from Jan Samsadi. Materialistic people association, we stay away. Adhyatma Gyan Nityatvam. So which Gyan we should try to earn? Adhyatma Gyan. Now there are many fields of knowledge and we don't deny it. Our Chandrayaan, I read in some pop-up, some pop-up came in my phone. Chandrayaan is about to touch moon. I'm not sure what's the schedule there, but something like that I heard. So that's a field of knowledge and we respect it. But what's the ultimate thing? So we don't disrespect material knowledge. They have its own utility. Doctors know something, engineers know something, and they make a safe house, safe body for us. We respect it. Ultimately, Adhyatma Gyan Nityatvam. Ultimately, what we are aspiring for. Tattva Gyanartha Darshanam. Etat Gyanam iti proktam Agyanam yat atho anyatha. So last line is very important. Etat Gyanam iti proktam. Whatever I have said, Krishna has said, it is Gyan. Agyanam yat ato anyatha. Anything else is Agyan. Anything. Now, it does not mean we disrespect the other knowledge. What we are saying, ultimately, we are aspiring to get this Adhyatma Vidya all the time. And this sort of repeat from 9th chapter as well. Okay, let's move forward. This was a big verse, and I did spend time knowingly because this is for our sadhakas. Okay, let's go 13:13. Shraddha Mataji, would you like to read?
Sure, Prabhu, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yegyam yat yat pravakshami.
Yeyam yat tat pravakshami.
Yajnanatmat mritam ashnute.
Yajgyatva amritam ashnute.
Anadimat param brahma.
Anadimat paramam brahma.
Nasat tannasad uchyate.
Nasat tannasad uchyate.
Translation. I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal. Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So now which section we are reading? So if you go back to this MIHE guide, we are in the third section, the object of knowledge or Gaya. So far we have read 3 themes. Anyone can tell which 3 themes we have read? Anyone? So there are 6 themes in this chapter. We have done 3 themes. So first one was Kshetra, Kshetragya and Jnanam. How many types of Gyan Krishna explained in verse 8 to 12? 20. There are 20 sort of addresses which Krishna gave in the previous verse. Now we go to the next section called Gaya. What does Gaya mean? The English translation is the object of knowledge. So let's read the verse and we'll come to it. So Gayam yat tat pravakshami. So what I'm going to tell you? Pravakshami means to tell. Gayam. I'm going to tell you now about Gaya. Yaj gyatva, by knowing that. Amratam ashnute. So here Amrit does not refer to celestial nectar. So if you read Bhagavad Gita 13.13, demigods will come on your door, knock knock, express parcel from Sargloka. And what is it? Amrit for you. Not like that. Amritam ashnute means your heart will be filled with joy. By reading this, you'll experience ecstasy in your heart. Yajagyatva amritam ashnute. Anadi mat paramam brahm. Anadi. Anadi refers to, what does anadi mean? An-adi. Adi means beginning. Anadi means beginningless. Prabhupada writes here, beginningless. Mat paramam. You will remember this word mat paramam from the previous chapters as well. Make me an ultimate goal. And Prabhupada translated here, mat paramam is subordinate to me. Mat paramam. Na sat tan na asad uchyate. So 2 important words are there in the 4th line. Sat and asad. So Sat and Asat, we can translate Sat, which is eternal, Asat means which is temporary. Now here in this particular verse, Prabhupada has translated Sat as cause and Asat as effect. In Sanskrit, the meaning of words are not always frozen. They are dynamic. So based on the context, the meaning will come. And that's why we need help of acharyas to understand these verses. Because even if you know one meaning of that word, you cannot translate because you don't know the context of the verse. So Prabhupada is saying, I shall not explain you the knowable. Knowable means Gaya, the object of knowledge, which we'll talk in a minute. Knowing that you will taste the eternal. Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and subordinate to me. So these are the qualification of that object of knowledge. And that lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Prabhupada said this material world is working on cause and effect. There's a famous verse in Brahma Samhita 5.1. Anyone remembers that verse? Everyone knows that verse. Ishvaraha. Now you'll say. Paramaha.
Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Radha Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam.
Anadi Radha Govinda Sarva Karan. He is the Karan of all the causes. He is the ultimate cause of everything. So this material world, there's always a cause and there's an effect. Like there's a seed and there's a tree. There is always you express your anger towards someone. You slap someone, for example. Not you should not do that. But why? Because there's a cause behind it, and there's an effect, and there will be, and because of this effect, which effect will become a cause, and he will slap you back, isn't it? Sorry to give you a wrong example, but this is how the cause effect works. So you heard something, you got angry, and you express your anger. You slap, and then other person, acha mujhe mara, do slap. So cause becomes the effect, and that effect becomes the cause, which produces another effect. Then you will get angry, you will express more anger. Sorry to give this wrong example, but this is how it works. So this world is full of cause and effect, cause and effect. Prabhupada said, who's the cause of you? Your father and mother, right? And who's the cause of them? Their father and mother. And you go on and on and on and on. And that's why it says, Govinda is Sarva Karana Karanam, ultimate cause of everything. So this word runs on cause and effect. So the knowledge, the Gaya, which Krishna is going to talk about, what is it? Beyond the cause or effect of this material world. That means we are pointing to where? Spiritual knowledge. We are not talking about the mundane knowledge here in Bhagavad Gita. So what's the development of rocket science and this development of hospitals or engineers? No, we're not talking about that knowledge. It lies beyond the cause and effect. Okay, 13:14. Now it's talking about the attributes of that absolute truth. Who would like to read? Madhuri Mataji, would you like?
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, sure. Sarvata panipadam tat.
Sarvatah panipadam tat.
Sarvatokshi shiro mukham.
Sarvatoshi shiro mukham.
Sarvata shrutimal loke.
Sarvatah shrutiman loke.
Sarvam avritya tishtati.
Sarvam avratya tishtati.
Translation: everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads, and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the super soul exists, pervading everything.
Thank you, Mataji. So, very clear actually. Sarvatah pani. Now, I like sometimes Sanskrit more than English because there's a word called na in Sanskrit or in Hindi. There's no such thing in English, isn't it? That's why sometimes English just cannot express. I was reading Bhishma Pitama prayers with Gaur Gopal, and he was reading a word ta as ta. He said tami bhajam, something like that. He was saying tummy. I said it's not tummy, it's tummy. But he says it's tea. And I said that's why English is poor language. In Sanskrit, you have two, right? Ta and ta is different. English, they're both tea. Chestnut and chestnut. Some people say chestnut. No, it's chestnut. It's not their fault. English, sometimes I find it very poor. So Madhuri Mata said pani. I said pani means water, which is not wrong. You're reading the right English, but actually it's pani. In Hindi, there's the word pani grahan, for example. It's not pani grahan. The whole day we are doing pani grahan. We drink water whole day. So it's pani. Madhuri Mata is not wrong what you pronounced. This is how the English is. It just has lacking. Sarvatah pani. Pani refers to, everyone knows pani. Pani means hand. Sarvatah. Everywhere his hand exists. Padam. Padam means feet. Legs. Prabhupada writes. Tat sarvatoshi. Akshi mane eyes. His eyes are everywhere. Shiro. Shiro means his head is everywhere. Mukha means his face is everywhere. Sarvata. So Sarvata is added in all these words. Sarvata Shruti. Shruti refers to ear. Shrutiman loke. Sarvam avrata tishtati. And it exists everywhere. So which absolute truth is talking about? Brahman. Jai Dharma Prabhu, you are saying something?
Yes, same thing. Brahman.
Yeah. So he's describing, because we are in the Jnana section, so it's talking about that Brahman. It's pretty simple, straightforward. There's no philosophical points here. So I'll move forward. I'll stop where the philosophy comes. 13.
Are we talking about, the impersonal Brahman here?
Yes, Mataji. We're talking.
Because Brahman has so many meanings.
Okay. Yes, Mata. See, our devotees are so advanced now. We can't even use the word Brahman. Thank you, Mata. Yes, impersonal Brahman. Yes. Sarvata, Sarvata, Sarvata. We are talking, which exists everywhere. And it says in the last line, Mataji, pervading everything. In this way, the super soul exists everywhere. Now, there's one point I have to add. Thank you, Ujjwala Mataji, for reminding here. Prabhupada actually is specifying that absolute truth as super soul. Thank you, Mata, for adding that extra bit. Super soul exists everywhere. Prabhupada, that's why, as I said, we need help of acharyas. Just by knowing the words, we can do some translation, but not everywhere. Thank you for adding that, Mataji. 13, 15. Divya Mataji, would you like to read one verse?
Yes, Prabhu will try. Sarvendriya gunabhasham.
Sarvendriya gunabhasham.
Sarvendriya vivarjitam.
Sarvendriya vivarjitam.
Asaktam sarvabhrichaiva.
Asaktam sarvabhrichaiva.
Nirgunam gunabhoktacha.
Nirgunam bhoktacha.
Translation. The super soul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the modes of nature, and at the same time, he is the master of all the modes of material nature. Thank you.
Prabhu. You don't sound very good. You have flu. Okay. Sarvendriya Guna Bhasam. So Sarva Indriya, we all understand, of all the senses. Guna Bhasam, Prabhupada writes, he is beyond all the senses, which is true, right? Krishna doesn't have senses like you and me. Sarvendriya Vivarjitam. Sorry, Gunabhasa means he is the source. So Krishna is the source of all the senses, Sarvendriya Vivarjitam, but he is beyond all the senses. Asaktam Sarvabhraj. So although he is Sarvabhraj, Sarvabhraj means Bhratya. Bhratya means Bharan Poshan Karne Wala, one who maintains everyone. So Krishna maintains everything, but Asaktam, he is very detached. Now, why this is a contradictory quality? Because when we do something for someone, we get attached to that person, right? Also that seva. मैंने खिलाया है. I've been, protecting you for last 20 years. I've been serving you because we get attached. But if you don't serve someone, you don't get attached. So Krishna has been protecting and serving us for how long? From time immemorial. But he is asakta. So this word is asakta, not asakta. Asakta means attached, asakta means detached. So although he is being the maintainer of every single living entity from time immemorial, but he is asakta. Nirguna, he is nirguna, gun bhokta. So he is the master of all the gunas. He is the master of all the gunas, which is very clear. But he is nirguna. What does nirguna mean here? Not that he doesn't have any guna. Guna means quality as well. But he has gunas which are beyond the modes of material nature. He has spiritual guna. Then sometimes Krishna is mentioned as arupa. Arupa means he doesn't have rupa. So what does it mean? He doesn't have rupa? No. He doesn't have rupa like material rupa. He has spiritual sarupa. So whenever we read these sort of words, we should not just take a literal translation. We should go a little deeper. So nirgun means, does not mean no guna. So Mayavadi said this is no guna. No. We say Krishna has all the gunas, but spiritual gunas. We have gunas, some good qualities we have, some bad qualities we have. This is under the modes of material nature, but Krishna is beyond. So what does this verse represent? The contradicting qualities exist in that absolute truth. Contradicting qualities. And I will say, how come this exists? This is why Jiva Goswami says this is one of the definition of God, that he will possess contradicting qualities simultaneously. Now we can't have that. We can't have it. If we are angry, are we loving? When we are angry, we are angry. Sometimes we love someone, sometimes we get angry with someone. But both things cannot exist at the same time, isn't it? आज मुझसे बात नहीं करो, मूड बहुत खराब है. I'm upset today, don't talk to me. So that applies for everyone. So we can't do all this. Krishna has this, and this is, as I said, one of the definition of Lord is he is beyond all this. Yes, Sakira Mataji.
So Prabhu, here we can write that this is an Achintya Veda Ved Tattva.
Yes,
Here, or...
thank you. Yeah. Achintya Veda Ved. We cannot think with our simple logic, with our simple intelligence about Krishna's quality. This is where we have to take Shabda Praman. Shabda Praman means Shastra. Whatever Shastra says, with faith in Shastra, we have to accept it. Actually, one more thing I had. Second. Ishopnishad, there is a verse. I thought I'll open for everyone. It's the Ishopnishad verse 5. It also has a similar qualities of Krishna explained here. Tade jati tanne jati tad dure tad antike tad antar asya sarvasya tadu sarvasya asya bahyata. Supreme Lord walks but does not walk. He is far away but he is near as well. He is within everything yet he is outside everything. You can say, are you mad? No, we are not. This is how Supreme Personality of Godhead is. So all the contradicting qualities exist in him simultaneously, and we'll read more. 13, 16. Who hasn't read as yet? Ravi Mataji, is it possible for you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
Bahir antascha bhutanam.
Bahir antascha bhutanam.
Acharam charam evacha.
Acharam charam evacha.
Sukshmatvat tad avigneyam.
Sukshmatvat tad avigneyam.
Durastham chantike chatat.
Durastham chantike chatat.
Translation. The supreme truth exists outside and inside of all the living beings, the moving and the non-moving. Because he is subtle, he is beyond the power of material senses to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So Bahir Antas. Bahir means Bahar, outside. Antar means inside. Cha Bhutanam. Which sort of bhutanam? Which sort of jivas? Acharam and charam. So not only chara is like say human beings or animals, even inside achara. Achara, like trees, for example, they don't move, mountains don't move. But even inside them, he is what? Bahir and antas. He's inside and he's outside. Sukshmatvat, he's very sukshma, he's very, very subtle. You cannot, sometimes people say, show me God. And Prabhupada gave a very beautiful answer. He said, to see something, you need a particular instrument. Like if you have to see a microbe, you need a microscope, isn't it? To see a microbes, you need a microscope. You cannot say from my naked eyes, can you show me a microbe? And if I can't see, microbe doesn't exist. You can't say that. There's a particular instrument needed. Similarly, to see God, you need a particular instrument. And if you have the instrument, you can see God. Very logical answer Prabhupada gave. And what's the instrument to see God? What's the logical instrument to see God? Premanjana chureta bhakti vilochanena santah sadaiva hridayeshu vilokiyanti yam shyam sundar achintya guna sarupam govindam adi purusha tamaham bhajami. The people, the santa, the devotees who have their eyes anointed with love. So we have kajal in our eyes. I don't know what you call it in English. In Hindi, we call it kajal. Our mom used to put kajal when we were young children. Huh? And you will not like it. So if you have kajal, anjan of prema in your eyes, not this material kajal, then you can see God. Prabhupada said, and if you have that, you can see. So there's a particular instrument needed. Sukshmatvat, he is very, very subtle. Tad avigyayam, and he is not knowable. Now, which section we are reading? Gaya. Now, Krishna is saying that Gaya is avigyaya. That to be known is unknown. It is true or not true? We don't know him, right? We don't know him. And even if we know him, how much we know? Like a slightest of the knowledge of Krishna we'll have. Even after reading all these Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, how much can we know? Unless Krishna reveals in your heart. Avigyaya. So, Gaya is declared as avigyaya. It's pretty contradictory statement. But we are still trying to be Gaya. Isn't it? We're trying to know him. Beautiful. Durastam, he is very dur. Cha antike. So who is dur and who is pas? Who is near? We can understand very clear. Super soul is very close, right? Sitting in everyone's heart. Who is dur? You can say Krishna, the Shyam Sundar Krishna. He is Golok Nivasati. Kahan pe nivas karte hain? Where does Krishna reside? In Golok. Golok is very far. Mahavishnu is outside. And you can see Shirodakshai Vishnu is inside. So from our Acharya's explanations, we can very clearly understand these verses. And same thing I was saying in Ishopanishad. So it's very, very close to 13:16. Very, very close to verse. I really like this verse. Tad dure, tad antike, tad antar asya sarvasya. Same verse, 13:16. Rupam Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhu, can you explain that concept of Gaya is declared as Avigyaya again? How?
That's what the concept is. Avigyaya. You cannot know him. You cannot know him. Sorry to say, this is the explanation. So Prabhupada writes here, unknowable. And it's literally unknowable. How many people know about Krishna? Manushanam sahasesu kashid itati siddha itatamapi siddhanam kashin vam vittatva. It is sort of unknowable. But obviously by our Acharya's mercy, we can understand Krishna to our capacity. We can still not understand Krishna. You know what Vaishnava Acharya say, Prabhuji? Even Krishna doesn't know his own glories. I'm just saying one example of Vaishnava Acharyas. So who are we to know Krishna? Even if you know Krishna in full, what is that full? Your capacity. If you have, so say 2 liters of capacity, you will know Krishna in 2-liter capacity. Hanumanji will know Lord Ram much better than us, right? Now that's, I'm talking after we got the mercy of our Guru Maharaj. At this stage, we are almost zero. We are almost zero. So that is Avigyaya. So there is a very clear declaration, bold declaration by Krishna. He's saying this section is Gaya, but in Gaya he's saying, I am Avigyaya.
So
It's a contradiction.
Gaya is knower, right?
No, the object of knowledge. That object of knowledge is Avigyaya, is unknowable. That means basically you cannot know him. Gaya is object of knowledge. We'll talk more about this terminology. Okay, let's do 13, 17. There's 2 more verses. Okay, 17, 3 more verses. Just finishing. There's not much philosophy here. We'll read it. 17. Who hasn't read as yet?
Can I read, Prabhu?
Sure, Prabhu.
अविभक्तं च भूतेषु
Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu
विभक्तम् एव च स्थितं
vibhaktam ev cha sthitam
भूता भर्तृच तज्ज्ञेयं
bhuta bharta cha tat chajkeyam
ग्रसिष्णु प्रभविष्णु च.
Vishnu Prabha Vishnu cha.
Although the Super Lord appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. Although he is the maintainer of every living entity, it is to be understood that he devours and develops all.
Thank you, Prabhu. So Abhibhaktam cha bhuteshu. So he is Avibhakta. You cannot divide him. Can you divide Krishna? No. But he appears to be Vibhaktam eva. Eva means as if. As if. So in every single one of you, there is a super soul, right? So there are, I don't know, say 15 devotees in the call. So how many super souls are there? 15. Can you say they are different? Same, but it's different. So it seems to be divided. Huh? So Bhuteshu Vibhaktam Evacha Sthitam. So it seems to be situated as if he is divided. So word Eva, I-V-A is very important. Now what does E-V-A mean? Eva and Eva.
One is certainly.
Eva is certainly.
Thank you. Now everyone knows. And I-V-A means as if.
Yes.
It doesn't exist. Looks
As.
like. Huh? Looks like. So everyone has a different super soul. Musalman will say, my God is greater. Hindu will say, my God is greater. Jain will say, my God is greater. Sare gods same hai. All gods are one. But it seems to be my God, your God, this super soul, that super soul. They're all one. Huh? That's what Eva looks like. Bhuta Bharta. Bhuta Bharta means, anyone can guess? भूतों का भरण करने वाला. Human maintenance of bhutas. And here bhuta does not mean a ghost. we are that ghost. We are those humans. Huh? Bhuta means jiva. Bhuta bhar. Tattach gyayam. That is to be known. So who you should know? That person who seems to, it is undivided, seems to be divided. He is the bharan karne wala. He is the maintainer of all the bhutas. Tad gyayam. And two more qualities are grashnishnu. Grashnu. Grashishnu. Sorry. Grashishnu. Grashishnu means grasana. Grasana means kha jana. You must have read this. Rakshas kha jate the. Narbhakshi Rakshas. Huh? Grasna. Grass. There's a word in Hindi. Not grass in English. Grass in Hindi. Grass means kaur. A bite. So grashna means devouring. Huh? Kha jana. Sorry, I'm explaining in Hindi sometimes so that the word remains in your memory. Because if I read the translation, you're like, okay, we can read it, but you'll not remember it. Huh? So sometimes better to relate it with our local language. Vijay Gopi Mataji, I don't know Tamil, so I can't relate that in Tamil language. So please forgive me. Prabha Vishnu. Prabha Vishnu, Prabhupada writes as developing. Huh? So he devours and develops everyone. Huh? Again, a contradictory quality. Okay, let's read the 18th. It's also a simple verse. Who hasn't read? I would prefer that
Prabhu,
person.
can I try?
Sure, Mata.
Jyotisham api tajyotis
Jyotisham api tat jyotis
tamasa paramuchyate
tamsah param uchyate
jnanam jnaneyam jnanagamyam
jnanam gyayam jnana gamyam
hridhi sarvasya visthitam.
hri sarvasya vishishtitam.
He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge and he is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart.
Thank you, Mataji. So Jyotisham api tat jyotis. So we read the similar thing in 10th chapter as well, right? When we were reading Vibhutis of Krishna. Huh? And there's a question in exam as well, which many of you have done incorrect. Sorry. We'll talk about it probably next week.
Which one, Prabhu?
Why Prabhu is very interested. Jyotisham api tat jyotis. Huh? So
Light.
Aditya Nam Aham Vishnu. I think that was the word.
Yes.
अब याद आ गया मोहित प्रभु को. Jyotisham apita jyoti. So he is the source of light in all the luminous objects. That is quite clear. Tamasah param uchyate. So tamasah refers to tamas or darkness. He is beyond darkness. We understand that as well. Now this is one of the main lines here. Jnanam, Gyayam, Jnana Gamyam. I'll come back to this line, just to the last one. Hridi Sarvasya Vishtitam. So this we understand. Hridi Vishtit Sarvasya Vishtitam. So he is situated in the Hriday or heart of everyone. We understand that, right? Now come to the third line. Jnanam. Jnanam, we understand. What does Jnanam mean? Knowledge. Now here knowledge does not mean a piece of information, and I think I've discussed that. So again, jnana can mean that. Jnana means piece of knowledge, but jnana not necessarily means that. Here, what does jnana mean? Jnana of soul and super soul and their relation. Simple that, right? So that's the sort of jnana we are talking in this section of Bhagavad Gita. Gyayam, what does Gyayam means? We just read Gyaya, right? Earlier section. The object of knowledge. And Prabhupada writes that. So he is knowledge, jnana. He is the object of knowledge, Gyaya. Jnana Gamyam, Prabhupada writes, he is the goal of knowledge. Now, what is the difference between object of knowledge and goal of knowledge? There are two things here. So knowledge is one, we all understand Gyan, and we read that 20 elements of Gyan, which Krishna explained. Now, another terminology Krishna is using Gyayam, okay, knowable, what is need to be known, the object of knowledge, fine. Another is saying goal of knowledge, Jnana Gamyam. Now, the difference is quite subtle actually, the object of knowledge and the goal of knowledge. And the difference is the object of knowledge means for what purpose you are achieving the knowledge. And the example given, if a diseased person goes to a doctor, Manmohan Prabhuji, and Manmohan Prabhuji said, do a CT scan, do a MRI and blah, blah, blah. I don't even know many terms, but come back after a week with all the results, right? So Prabhuji is trying to know different parameters which is happening in his body, his blood count and whatnot, right? And this person comes back with all the reports next week, and Prabhu goes through. So what Prabhu is going through at the moment is the object of knowledge. What you wanted a CT scan, you wanted a result in a certain way, and that person brings that result, right? But what is the Jnana Gamyam, goal of knowledge? To cure the person. So one is the object of knowledge. Bring me this piece of knowledge, because you have problem in your hand or tummy or brain or whatever. Do this investigation, get me some parameters, right? So when you have the parameters, it's the object of knowledge. Now many people do postgrad and PhD and whatnot, and you say the object of knowledge to get a PhD, fine. What's the goal of knowledge? To get a job. And what's the goal of that job? To live a happy life, isn't it? So the goal can be different than object. I'm preparing for IIT, I'm preparing for MBBS. My goal is to get in MBBS, for example, right? It's right. But what's the goal of MBBS? To get a good, happy life, right? So the object of knowledge is different than the goal of knowledge. So in this section, what is the goal of knowledge? To go back to Godhead. What's the object of knowledge? All these different sections which we are reading. So our purpose to read this section is to get love for Krishna and go back to Godhead. Is it clear? The goal of knowledge was the object right now. We are reading Bhagavad Gita. We are coming to Bhakti Shastri session. Although many of you are sleepy, your eyes are getting closed. We're all tired, coming back from a program. I was saying to someone, I have a class, and he said, I also have a class. And I said, Aapko sunna hai, mujhe sunana hai. That's the only difference. You can sleep, I can't. Huh? Please let me know if I sleep one day. So that's a slight difference, object of knowledge and goal of knowledge. So we are clear for object of knowledge and goal of knowledge. This is what Krishna is saying. So we should not forget the goal of knowledge. Many times we get stuck into the object of knowledge, right? I have a Bhakti Shastri degree. I have this and that. Who cares how many verses you know? No one cares how much you know. We want to know how much you care. That's what the devotees get defined by, not by his or her certifications, by his knowledge of verses or Shastra. No, we don't want to know that. We want to know how much you care. And the object of knowledge at the moment should become the goal of knowledge. If there's a gap between those two, that's where a devotee is considered not a very high quality devotee. It's a Kanishtadhikari. Okay, I'll do the last verse. It's the last of this section. There's nothing much here, so we'll just read that very quickly. Who would like to?
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
अरे वाह, इतने सारे हाथ उठ रहे हैं आखिरी में खत्म करना है. Okay, please do.
Who, Prabhu? I can do? Oh.
Oh, उसमें भी confusion.
You can read, Mataji.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Mohit Prabhu, always giving glories to others.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Iti kshetram tatha jnanam.
Iti kshetram tatha jnanam.
Geyam choktam samasata.
Geyam choktam samasataha.
Mad bhakta etat vignaya.
Mad bhakta etad vigyaya.
Mad bhava yo papadaye.
Mad bhavo upapadyate.
Thus, the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
basically what Krishna is saying, iti kshetram tatha jnanam. So what I have just described, I've described about the kshetra, jnanam. So there are 6 questions, right? So I've described kshetra, I've described jnanam, Gyeya cha oktam samasata. Samasata refers to in summary. Huh? So we can see that Krishna is described in summary. Obviously, it's not detailed. Detail will not be coming in Bhagavad Gita many times. Mad bhakta etad vigyaya. So in the 13.11, Krishna used the word ananya bhakti, avyabhicharani bhakti. And now Krishna is talking about mad bhakta etad vigyaya. My devotee will understand it. And what will be the result? Mad bhava upapadyate, and he will receive my bhava. So basically he's saying, Krishna is very clear saying, only my devotee can understand this, others cannot understand it. And he's saying, I have explained 3 sections of knowledge, but actually he has explained 4, Kshetra and Kshetragya. So our Acharya has explained that Kshetragya is not mentioned in the verse, is implicit in Kshetra. So 4 sections we have covered. 2 sections are left, Purusha and Prakriti, very important one, which will start from the next class. Okay, we'll not take any questions now. It's already 2 minutes over the time. Please write your questions and we will do that question and answer next time. Okay, we'll stop here. Sundar Prabhuji, any announcements?
Yes, Prabhuji, couple of announcements.
Cool. Okay, I get scared. Okay, we'll do quickly. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu, the first one was for everyone, on behalf of everyone, wishing you a very happy Appearance Day, which was on the 2nd. So a big Haribol.
Oh, okay.
Haribol.
That wasn't the part of announcement. Okay. So one follow-up what Sundar Prabhu said. So please, all of you, my humble request from my heart, bless me profusely so I can be of some service to all of you. The whole idea is not to become more knowledgeable. I literally don't feel like that. But I am making mistakes. I'm sure I have made mistakes. I'm making mistakes. So if I make mistake, please let me know. Please forgive me. Just thinking I'm very, very young, neophyte. I'm being very honest here. So if there's anything which you think should be improved, let me know. I may not be able to, I'll be honest, because of so many factors, but please let me know. We can talk about it. I'm very open to receive your feedback. Please forgive me for the past, present, and future, asking in advance because I will make mistakes. So thank you, Sundar Prabhu, for remembering that. It is not worthy of remembrance, but you did it. So now you have to pay for it. You have to bless me. You have to pray for me. All of you, please do that.
Once for Prabhuji.
Huh?
Let's unmute and chat once for Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Thank you so much, Prabhupada की जय. Okay.
प्रभु आप हमें ऐसे ही पढ़ाते सिखाते रहिए.
मतलब पहले मैं खुद सीख लूं. First let me learn. I'm literally reading and listening something. There's nothing belongs to me except my mistakes. I'm literally being honest. I've heard Chaitanya Charan Prabhu and some other Maharaj, Prabhupada purports. I'm just trying to repeat what I understand in my limited understanding and just trying to pass it on. So all glories to our acharyas who have given so much wealth. One time, I will be honest, I was trying to read 5 commentaries. I could not cope up. And I said, I'll keep it simple. Our Prabhupada is the best because my brain doesn't function so much. So Anyway, we are just discussing this, Mataji and Prabhuji's as well as a group. So please forgive me and each other as well if you feel there are some differences, because we as a group is just trying to come closer to the Lord. It's not about exams or marks or a degree, who knows more verses. It's nothing to do with all that. As a group, we are reading Prabhupada books so that we can get better understanding of Krishna. So that is the Gyan Gamyam, goal of the knowledge. Baki sab is detail. It's all detail. But it helps. It helps. So that's why we are following. Prabhupada said you should do Bhakti Shastri. So that's why we are doing it. Okay, thank you. Next one, Prabhuji. Huh?
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, next one is we met everyone in the temple last week for the exam. We had this talk of having a get together. So there came the idea of the picnic, which was pending from last year, I would say.
1.5 years.
Yes, it could not happen for various reasons. So you had a proposed date, Prabhu, which was the 30th of September, which is there, which comes between the school holidays. Maybe that's one date that is there, which we can maybe do a quick poll on. I'll send a poll on the WhatsApp group, and if all of you can have a look at your own calendar schedule and then vote if you can or cannot make it on that, and based on that we
It's
can.
just we were thinking about simple get together because many devotees are discussing about it. It's a simple
temple
one.
program really.
Huh? So we can just do a simple get together, maybe in a temple, park, or somewhere. Is just meeting together with you and your family, whatever is possible. Keep it simple, and we can play or something. But let's see if the date suits to most of us. It will never be the best date, but we can try. So Sundar Prabhu may send 1 or 2 options. We can choose whatever works for you.
And Prabhu, as we discussed, can we have the Bhakti Shastri face-to-face class at least once a month, Prabhu?
Yes.
On Sunday. So it's very nice to meet the devotees face.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji. That was the third.
I am for that too. It was just wonderful meeting all of you during the exam.
For me as well. Honestly, I really like seeing the faces sitting there and talking and seeing in the eyes. Really nice.
So that was the third and the last the announcement today. Like once every maybe 2 months, we can meet in the temple room.
Why not once a month, Prabhu? It's just once in like 30 days.
Yeah, we'll fix one Sunday, Prabhu, and then we can just meet everyone one Sunday.
One humble request to everyone and on a principle, because I like principles more than the detail. Let's make it around 70% attendance. If it's not happening, maybe some devotee. I actually live close to temple, and I'm not saying for myself. Some devotees travel 40 kilometers, 60 kilometers. So to respect their time, it should not be like 2 devotees sitting in the garland room and rest of the 18 devotees sitting online. So please make it happen. So Prabhu will again send a poll, and if the attendance is below 70%, will not organize it next time. So again, based on everyone's request, we would love to do it. And I'm saying again, I live very close to temple actually. So for me, going to temple is not a big deal. But some devotees literally spend 2 and 2.5 hours in traveling. They have young kids. We have to arrange them. So please, for everyone's benefit, we can try 1 month, but the attendance has to be 60 to 70% minimum. So please try. And that also will be tracked.
Yes, Prabhu, in that way we can attend even the Sunday feast like Sunday feast.
I'm very open about
We have not been attending Sunday feast at all.
Yeah, absolutely. We can start from say 3 o'clock that day, because we have to leave the room, I think it's around 5 or something. We can start sharp on time, leave the room for other Sunday kids school, and then 5:15 we can finish, and then you can go and do some seva, take prasad, or sit in Sunday feast class. So
I think the Sunday kids is 6 to 7.
Is
Sunday
it?
kids program.
The other day they were waiting outside. I don't know. Anyway, we can work out the details. That's all detail. But yeah, please everyone try to make it, and it's very nice to see face to face each other. Okay, next one, Prabhu. I'm looking at the watch.
The last one, but the only challenge I see in this one is about the like recording. How to facilitate the recording for.
Okay,
तो हमारे यही कर लो अगर महीने में एक बार ही है तो.
And bonus भी मिलेगा.
प्रभु हमारे यहाँ कर लो, क्लास अगर लंबी भी जाएगी तो भागने की टेंशन नहीं होगी.
Okay. These are all details. As I said, these are all details. कहाँ बैठेंगे, क्या करेंगे, all details. Don't worry about it. Make an attempt once in a month. I'm very open about it. We can start 3 o'clock that particular day. You can decide a day or whatever. So anything else on the Prabhu? Because devotees may have to leave. Yeah, okay. So just a confusion, Prabhuji will send a poll. Please do respond to the poll. If it works, we are happy to picnic. We're happy to meet face to face just once in a month or once in 2 months, whatever works. We want everyone to be, coming closer to the Lord. That's what the Gyan Gamyam is. Okay.
We can have the poll about once a month or once in 2 months.
Yes, Mother,
that-
you have two options.
Okay, can I just say a simple thing? Let's target a date now. Forget about once a month or 2 months. Prabhuji, put a date and say who is coming on this date. If they're coming, we do it, because then we will know how many people are really interested. And when they poll and they don't appear, Sumit Prabhu will remind them for the next time. Prabhu, आपने RSVP किया था, आए नहीं. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Situations may change, but please make a attempt. That's all I can say. Huh? On that day, your kid may be sick, you may be sick. We all understand. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's stop here. We are 11 minutes over, so sorry for that.